Welcome to Dreams of Gravity. I'm so glad you've joined me here tonight. If you haven't already, find a comfortable spot. Perhaps lie down. Let your body sink into the softness of your bed or chair and allow your breath to slow, deep and even. Close your eyes if it feels right, or simply let your gaze soften. This is a space for unwinding, for letting the vastness of the universe carry you into rest. Together, we'll drift through the cosmos, exploring its wonders in a gentle rhythm, like waves lapping at the shore of your mind. Relax now and let the story begin. Imagine, if you will, that the Big Bang, the grand explosion of light and energy we often call the birth of everything, wasn't truly the beginning. What if it was merely a continuation, a ripple in an endless sea of existence? Picture the universe not as a single spark igniting from nothing, but as a breath in a much larger cycle where endings fold seamlessly into new dawns. This idea invites us to wander through the stars not as isolated wonders, but as threads in a tapestry that stretches beyond what we can see or measure. Let's journey together, softly and slowly, through galaxies, planets, stars, black holes, nebulae, time, matter, and the quiet infinity that holds it all. Like an ocean without shores, the cosmos breathes with us, reminding us that we are part of its gentle flow. We begin with the stars, those distant lanterns flickering in the night sky. Each one is a sun like our own, a glowing heart of plasma, hot, swirling gas, born from clouds of dust and gas scattered across space. Think of a star's life as a slow exhale. It gathers material over millions of years, pulling it together with gravity's patient embrace until the core ignites in a steady burn. Our sun, for instance, has been shining for about 4.6 billion years, warming Earth and cradling life in its light. But stars don't last forever. They swell into giants, shed their outer layers like a sigh releasing tension, and collapse into dense remnants, white dwarfs, neutron stars, or black holes. It's a cycle, much like the rise and fall of your own breath as you listen now, in and out, carrying you deeper into relaxation. Consider how this process unfolds in detail. In the heart of a nebula, gravity whispers to scattered particles, drawing them closer, compressing them until the pressure sparks fusion. Hydrogen atoms fuse into helium, releasing energy that pushes outward, balancing the inward pull. For smaller stars like our Sun, this fusion will continue for another 5 billion years, a steady pulse that has allowed rivers to carve canyons on Earth and forests to sway in the breeze. Larger stars burn brighter but faster, their cores fusing heavier elements, carbon, oxygen, silicon, until iron builds up, halting the reaction in a sudden hush. Then comes the supernova, a brilliant outburst scattering those elements into space, seeding the next generation of stars and worlds. It's as if each star in its quiet death exhales the building blocks of life, much like how your own relaxed breathing now scatters the tensions of the day, preparing you for deeper peace. And in binary systems, stars share their fates more intimately, orbiting each other in a gravitational waltz that can lead to one siphoning material from the other, creating dramatic flares or even triggering mutual explosions. These pairings highlight the interconnectedness of stellar lives, where isolation is rare and every glow influences a neighbor, echoing how the quiet cadence of your inhales and exhales syncs with the subtle rhythms of the room around you, fostering a shared serenity. Variable stars, like Cepheids, pulse with regularity, their brightness swelling and fading as outer layers expand and contract, serving as cosmic yardsticks to measure distances across the void, their predictable hearts beating like the steady drum of a lullaby, guiding us through the dark with measured steps. In globular clusters, ancient spheres orbiting galaxies, thousands of stars huddle in tight formation, their light a collective whisper from the universe's youth, enduring as quiet sentinels while younger spirals churn with activity nearby. Red giants, in their expansive phase, envelop nearby planets in their swelling atmospheres, a gentle swallowing that alters orbits, while blue stragglers, stars rejuvenated by merging with companions, defy age expectations, shining youthfully in old clusters, a reminder that renewal can surprise even in the later stages. Much like unexpected moments of clarity arise in the hush of winding down. Solar flares, bursts of magnetic energy from our sun's surface, hurl plasma into space, creating auroral displays on Earth, their cycles tied to the star's 11-year dynamo, a rhythmic pulse that stirs the magnetosphere like a soft breeze through still waters. Hypergiants, the universe's most massive stars, expand to sizes that could swallow our solar system, their instability leading to luminous blue variables that ebb and flow dramatically, shedding mass in great winds before inevitable collapse. A majestic yet fragile existence that underscores the beauty and transience, akin to the fleeting inspirations that illuminate a quiet evening before fading into restful acceptance. In open clusters like the Pleiades, young hot stars illuminate surrounding gas, their shared birth a family gathering that disperses over time as gravity loosens its hold, leaving a trail of evolved companions, much like the gradual dispersal of daytime energies into the soothing solitude of night. Wolf-Rayet stars, stripped of outer layers by fierce winds, expose hot cores that fuse elements rapidly, their spectra rich with helium and nitrogen, signaling impending supernovae that will forge even heavier nuclei, a prelude to dispersal where intensity yields to expansive quiet, mirroring the way concentrated worries diffuse into ambient calm as evening deepens. Cataclysmic variables, white dwarfs accreting hydrogen from red dwarf companions, ignite surface explosions that brighten them temporarily, a controlled outburst that regulates the binary's evolution, evoking the measured release of pent-up energy in a long-held breath, finally let go. Symbiotic stars, where red giants feed cool material to hot companions, create glowing envelopes that bridge their differences, fostering mutual stability through shared envelopes, a harmonious coexistence that speaks to the quiet alliances formed in the vast solitude of space. Much like unspoken understandings, deepen companionship in reflective hours. Novae, in recurrent systems, where accumulated layers detonate periodically, offer rhythmic renewals without total destruction, a cyclical vitality that sustains the pair over millennia, paralleling the periodic releases that refresh the spirit without upheaval. Are Coronae Borealis stars, carbon-rich giants that obscure themselves in soot clouds, emerge and fade in erratic obscurity, their dimmings a self-imposed veil that invites patient observation, much like the self-imposed veils of doubt that lift to reveal inner luminosity in moments of quiet assurance. B stars, rapidly rotating blue giants with equatorial disks of gas, decretion flows that create spectral veils and infrared excesses, a dynamic shedding that enhances their visibility in certain lights, evoking the enhanced clarity that comes from shedding excess burdens during repose. T Tauri stars, pre-main sequence youngsters with strong magnetic fields driving winds and spots exhibit variability from accretion shocks as they contract towards stability, a youthful turbulence that settles into mature glow, much like the turbulence of an active mind settling into the poise of contemplation. Post-asymptotic giant branch stars transitioning from red giants to white dwarfs pulse with irregular brightness as they eject planetary nebulae precursors, a final effervescence before quiet contraction, mirroring the effervescent release of final thoughts before the hush of sleep overtakes. Protostar envelopes, thick cocoons of infalling material around nascent cores, absorb and re-emit light in infrared, their gradual thinning revealing the emerging photosphere, a veiled awakening that parallels the gradual unveiling of dawn's first light through morning mist, nurturing the slow emergence of stellar presence. In asymptotic giant branch phases, thermal pulses from helium shell flashes cause luminosity spikes and mass loss in long-period variables, a pulsating farewell that enriches the interstellar medium with S-process elements like barium, seeding molecular clouds for future complexity, much like pulsating heartbeats in repose enrich the body with circulating calm. Mirror variables, long-period giants with dramatic pulsations, expand and contract over hundreds of days, their atmospheres detaching in cool outflows that form circumstellar envelopes, a rhythmic expansion that scatters dust grains outward, much like the rhythmic expansion of a deep sigh scatters lingering fatigue into the ether of renewal. In delta Scuti stars, high-amplitude pulsators in the instability strip, pressure modes drive oscillations from the core outward, creating light curves that reveal internal convection zones, a subtle inner dialogue of heat and motion that harmonizes with the outer calm, akin to the inner dialogue of subtle sensations, harmonizing with the outer stillness of meditation. Ziz Ceti, white dwarfs, cooled remnants quivering in G-modes, propagate gravity waves through their degenerate layers, their fading brightness a testament to the universe's patient cooling, where even in quiescence, faint vibrations persist like the faint echoes of a melody long after the music fades. From stars, we drift to the planets that orbit them, quiet wanderers in the cosmic dance. Planets form from the same dusty disks that birth stars, clumping together like dewdrops gathering on a leaf after rain. Earth, our blue marble, spins at just the right distance from the sun. Not too hot, not too cold, allowing oceans to form and life to stir. But look beyond. Jupiter, with its swirling storms larger than our planet, guards the outer realms like a watchful giant. And farther out, icy worlds like Neptune whisper of colder, deeper sleeps, where methane clouds drift in eternal twilight. These planets remind us of the universe's balance, a harmonious pull between forces, much like the way gravity holds you gently to the ground tonight, inviting surrender. Delve a little further into their worlds. Take Venus, our nearest neighbor, wrapped in a thick atmosphere of carbon dioxide that traps heat, turning its surface into a furnace hotter than a kiln, with clouds of sulfuric acid raining down in a perpetual haze. It's a reminder of how delicate our own habitable zone is, a narrow band where liquid water can flow freely, carving paths for evolution. Or consider Mars, the red wanderer, once perhaps alive with rivers and lakes, now a dusty expanse where ancient volcanoes like Olympus Mons stand taller than Everest, their craters filled with the silence of forgotten winds. Exoplanets, discovered by telescopes like Kepler and James Webb, reveal even stranger realms. Some hug their stars so closely they lock in tidal synchronization, one side eternally daylit and scorching, the other plunged into endless night, with a twilight band where life might dream in the balance. These distant spheres move in elliptical paths, influenced by their star's gravity and the subtle tugs of siblings, creating seasons that stretch for years or mere days. As they orbit, they carry atmospheres that breathe, gases swirling, storms brewing, like the subtle rhythm of your chest rising and falling. Each planetary turn a meditation on endurance and adaptation in the cosmic tide. Moons add layers to this ballet. Europa, one of Jupiter's icy satellites, hides a subsurface ocean beneath its cracked shell, warmed by tidal flexing from its parent's massive pull, where hydrothermal vents might nurture microbial life in darkness, much like hidden springs sustain quiet ecosystems on Earth's seafloor. Saturn's rings, delicate bands of ice and rock particles orbiting in resonance, shimmer as a testament to gravitational sculpting, their gaps carved by shepherd moons that guide the flow, evoking the way unseen forces in your own relaxation guide scattered worries into orderly repose. Gas giants like Uranus tilt dramatically on its side, perhaps from an ancient collision, rolling through space like a toppled wheel, its faint rings and moons tracing lazy paths in the dim light, while dwarf planets such as Pluto, with its heart-shaped glacier of nitrogen ice, orbit in the Kuiper Belt's scattered disk, a realm of primordial leftovers where seasons last decades, fostering a slow, contemplative pace akin to the unhurried drift of thoughts in twilight. Mercury, scorched and airless, endures extremes from 430 degrees Celsius in sunlight to minus 180 in shadow, its surface cratered like an old coin, yet it harbors polar ice in shadowed craters, a paradox of persistence in harshness, while Enceladus, Saturn's geyser moon, spews water plumes from its south pole, hinting at a salty ocean below, analyzed by Cassini for organic molecules, suggesting life's quiet possibilities in icy seclusion. Asteroid belts between Mars and Jupiter teem with rocky remnants, their collisions birthing meteorites that pepper moons and planets, carriers of solar system history, much like scattered recollections surface in the calm of reflection. Terrestrial planets like Kepler 442b, dubbed Earth's cousin, orbit sun-like stars in habitable zones, their potential for stable climates evoking familiar landscapes under alien skies, while ocean worlds such as those around Gliese 581 might be covered entirely in water, depths harboring lightless realms where bioluminescence guides hidden cycles, a submerged serenity paralleling the deep calm that settles as your breathing evens out. Volcanic activity on Io, Jupiter's innermost moon, driven by tidal heating, erupts plumes of sulfur that paint its surface in vivid yellows, a dynamic contrast to the stillness of distant icy bodies, reminding us that energy flows in varied expressions, each contributing to the universe's balanced composition. Carbon planets, theorized around pulsars or metal-poor stars, feature diamond interiors under thick graphite crusts, their rigidity allowing vast mountain ranges, a crystalline solidity born from stellar debris, evoking the enduring structure beneath shifting sands of daily flux. In circumbinary planets like those around Kepler 16, worlds orbit pairs of stars in stable figure-8 paths, experiencing dual sunrises that blend lights in harmonious duality. a celestial tandem that speaks to the beauty of partnership in isolation's vastness, much like the supportive undercurrents in a solitary evening's reflection. Chthonian planets, stripped of atmospheres by stellar winds, leave behind bare rocky cores exposed to space, their surfaces etched by radiation, a resilient remnant that endures stellar evolution's trials, much like the core of resolve that persists through life's tempests. In the TRAPPIST-1 system, the innermost worlds bake under relentless radiation, their rocky veneers potentially harboring subsurface refugees cooled by conduction, a layered sanctuary where surface fury gives way to inner poise, akin to the calm reservoir beneath a stormy mind. Desert worlds, like those orbiting white dwarfs in close orbits, with surfaces of fused silicates from past engulfments, might cool slowly into barren expanses, their thin atmospheres of evaporated metals drifting like ethereal veils, a post-cataclysmic hush that invites reflection on renewal after upheaval. In the habitable zones of M-dwarfs, flare-resistant biospheres could evolve with reinforced magnetic fields, shielding delicate chemistries from bursts of plasma, a fortified equilibrium that sustains fragile balances, much like inner fortitudes shield the peace of contemplation from external storms. Puffy planets, low-density worlds with extended hydrogen envelopes, migrate inward from outer orbits, their inflated atmospheres buffering stellar heat, a buoyant adaptation that allows survival in close quarters, evoking the buoyant lift of lighter thoughts, rising above heavier concerns in moments of ease. In the LHS 1140 system, a super-Earth with potential water-world traits orbits a red dwarf, its density suggesting rocky interiors overlaid with icy mantles, a compact haven where geological activity might cycle volatiles internally, fostering a self-contained rhythm akin to the self-contained rhythm of breath, sustaining inner vitality. Temperate sub-Neptunes, with balanced temperatures allowing stable stratospheres, might retain water in vapor form, driving global circulations that distribute heat evenly. A moderated flow that promotes uniformity, much like moderated flows of air in a quiet room promote even relaxation across the body. In the HD 189733 system, a hot Jupiter's glass rain falls sideways in super-rotating winds, silicate droplets condensing in the upper atmosphere, a crystalline precipitation that adds a layer of atmospheric artistry, evoking the artistic patterns frost etches on winter windows, subtle beauties emerging from motion. Super-puff planets, ultra-low-density worlds with atmospheres so extended they resemble cotton candy, likely form from pebble accretion in outer disks before migrating inward, their fragile envelopes prone to erosion, yet offering vast volumes for exotic weather. A whimsical lightness that drifts through space like a feather on a gentle breeze, inviting us to ponder the delicate forms resilience can take in the face of stellar proximity. In the TOI 849b system, a remnant core of a disintegrated gas giant orbits a sun-like star, its iron-rich surface a bare testament to atmospheric stripping, where residual heat sustains a molten glow, a stripped-down endurance that speaks to the quiet strength found in what remains after loss, much like the quiet strength that emerges after shedding unnecessary layers in personal simplification. Now, let your mind expand to galaxies, those immense cities of stars spiraling through the void. Our Milky Way is one such spiral, a barred galaxy with arms curving like the waves of an ocean current, home to hundreds of billions of stars. It takes our solar system about 225 million years to complete one orbit around its center. A galactic year, longer than any human lifetime, yet fleeting in cosmic terms. Galaxies cluster together in groups, drawn by gravity's invisible threads, forming superclusters that stretch across millions of light-years. Imagine them as breaths in a vast chest, rising and falling, colliding slowly over eons to birth new stars from the debris. In this dance, the universe reveals its ongoing nature, not a static painting, but a living poem where creation echoes endlessly. Picture the Andromeda Galaxy, our closest spiral neighbor, hurtling toward us at 110 kilometers per second. In about 4 billion years, it will merge with the Milky Way, their arms intertwining like lovers in a slow embrace, triggering waves of star formation that light up the night. Elliptical galaxies, smoother and rounder, form from such mergers, their stars orbiting in random harmony, devoid of the spiral's arms, but rich in ancient light. Then there are irregular galaxies, chaotic shapes tugged by gravity's whims, like the Magellanic Clouds trailing our Milky Way, bursting with young blue stars that paint the southern skies. Within these vast structures, dark matter halos extend far beyond the visible edges, an unseen web that binds the stars, much like the quiet undercurrents of an ocean that shape its surface waves without a ripple. As galaxies evolve, they recycle gas through outflows and inflows, a cosmic circulation mirroring how your body circulates blood in restful sleep, nourishing every distant corner with the essence of continuity. Dwarf galaxies, smaller companions orbiting larger ones, offer glimpses of early universe survivors, their low-mass stars burning cool and long, preserving pristine gas clouds that hint at the first generations of light after the cosmic dawn. In the Virgo cluster, thousands of galaxies mingle in a gravitational symphony, their hot intracluster medium glowing in X-rays, a diffuse plasma heated by collisions, where ram pressure stripping peels gas from spirals, quenching star birth like a gentle hush settling over an overactive mind, redirecting energy toward quiet contemplation. Lenticular galaxies, bridging spirals and ellipticals, hold dusty disks without active arms. Their evolution paused in a serene intermediate state, while active galactic nuclei flare with quasar brilliance when supermassive black holes feast, outshining entire galaxies in a temporary blaze that fades into memory, much like fleeting worries dissolve in the calm of evening reflection. Starburst galaxies, fueled by interactions, churn out stars at frantic rates, their infrared glow revealing dusty nurseries, a burst of creativity that settles into maturity over time, akin to the focused energy of inspiration, giving way to sustained peace. The Sombrero Galaxy, with its prominent dust lane like a flowing scarf, rotates with a central bulge of old stars, an elegant form observed in amateur telescopes, embodying the graceful poise of cosmic aging. Ultra-diffuse galaxies, low-surface brightness wisps with few stars but vast halos, glide through clusters like ethereal clouds, their sparse populations hinting at stripped histories, yet their endurance speaks of subtle strength, much like the quiet resilience found in moments of profound stillness. In the Coma cluster, over 1,000 galaxies interact in a hot bath of gas, where mergers foster elliptical giants, a communal evolution that transforms individuals into collective forms, evoking the way shared silences deepen personal tranquility. Barred spiral galaxies like NGC 1300 showcase central bars that channel gas inward, fueling bursts along arms, a structural feature common to 2/3 of spirals, directing flows with geometric precision, much like unseen patterns guide the meandering of a river toward the sea. In galaxy harassment, smaller members in clusters lose gas through repeated encounters, transitioning to red and dead states, a gradual shedding that refines their form, paralleling the refinement of thoughts through patient unwinding. Ring galaxies, rare formations from head-on collisions that compress gas into luminous circles, encircle dark cores like halos of light, their radial arms propagating waves of starbirth, a resonant echo that transforms disruption into ornamental grace, much like ripples from a stone in still water resolve into tranquil patterns. Polar ring galaxies, where equatorial disks acquire polar gas rings from mergers, rotate in orthogonal planes, a dual-axis harmony that defies simple symmetry, their extended structures tracing merger histories like faint scars on ancient skin, inviting contemplation of layered integrations in the cosmic family. In shell galaxies, concentric stellar shells from minor mergers ripple outward like echoes in a pond, their faint arcs revealing dynamical aftermaths, a subtle ornamentation that speaks to the enduring imprints of gentle encounters, akin to the subtle imprints of daily interactions lingering in the mind's quiet reservoir. Peculiar galaxies like Centaurus A, with radio lobes spanning millions of light-years from a central supermassive black hole, exhibit warped disks from past collisions, a distorted elegance where tidal tails feed back material, sustaining activity in a prolonged dialogue of renewal, much like distorted perspectives in reflection feed back into clearer self-understanding. Hoag's object, an isolated ring galaxy with a dense core and sparse halo, floats in solitude, its formation perhaps from internal instabilities, a self-contained poise that suggests even isolated forms harbor inner dynamics, evoking the self-contained poise of solitary evenings where inner dynamics reveal quiet depths. In interacting pairs like the antennae galaxies, tidal bridges stretch between them, compressing gas to ignite star clusters along the seams, a connective tissue that binds fates in mutual transformation, much like connective pauses in conversation bind ideas in mutual enrichment. Stephan's Quintet, a compact group of colliding galaxies 290 million light-years away, shows shock waves heating gas to millions of degrees, visible in infrared as glowing tails, a familial tangle where friction births new light, reminding us that even in close quarters, gentle frictions can illuminate paths forward without discord. In the mice galaxies, long tidal tails stream like ethereal whiskers from a head-on pass, recycling gas into star-forming knots that dot the bridges, a playful extension that enriches the pair's shared evolution, much like playful extensions in dialogue enrich shared understanding in unhurried exchanges. Tadpole Galaxy, with its 280,000 light-year tail from a merger encounter, trails ahead of star clusters, the distortion carving out a luminous streak that fades into the void, a transient form that captures the grace of passage through interaction, akin to the grace of thoughts passing through the mind in contemplative flow. As we float onward, consider black holes, mysterious hearts at the centers of many galaxies, including our own. A black hole forms when a massive star exhausts itself and implodes, compressing matter into a point of infinite density called a singularity, surrounded by an event horizon, the point of no return. Here, gravity is so profound that not even light escapes, bending space and time into a profound stillness. Yet black holes aren't destroyers alone. They shape the cosmos. Supermassive ones, like Sagittarius A in the Milky Way's core influence star formation by regulating gas flows, much like the deep currents of an ocean guide surface waves. Time near a black hole warps. Hours for an observer might stretch into years far away, reminding us that time itself is flexible, a river that meanders through the fabric of reality, slowing as we approach rest. Explore their subtle influences. Around Sagittarius A, stars whip in tight orbits, their paths revealing the black hole's 4.3 million solar masses, a silent conductor orchestrating the galactic ballet. Smaller stellar mass black holes, remnants of supernova, lurk in binaries, pulling gas from companion stars into glowing accretion disks that heat to millions of degrees, emitting X-rays like whispers from the void. Even quieter are primordial black holes, theorized to have formed in the early universe's turbulence. Tiny specks that might evaporate over eons via Hawking radiation, a quantum fizz where particles pop in and out of existence near the horizon, one escaping while the other falls in, slowly dimming the black hole like a candle in the wind. In a cyclic cosmos, these singularities could be portals of transformation, compressing the old to rebirth the new, akin to how deep sleep compresses the day's chaos into restorative quiet, emerging renewed. Intermediate black holes, bridging the gap between stellar and supermassive, may form from star cluster collisions, their growth feeding on dense cores, gradually swelling to anchor young galaxies. The Event Horizon telescopes images of M87's black hole, a shadowy ring against glowing plasma. 55 million light-years away capture this dance, jets of magnetized gas erupting in relativistic speeds, carving paths through intergalactic space like exhaled breaths shaping the air before settling into stillness. Dormant black holes, starved of fuel, wait patiently in galactic suburbs, their horizons smooth and untroubled, while mergers detected by LIGO send ripples through space-time, a symphony of coalescence that reshapes orbits for light years around, evoking the subtle realignments of inner peace after letting go of old patterns. Rogue black holes, wandering free from their stellar origins, might drift through halos, their gravity perturbing passing stars unnoticed, silent nomads in the galactic wilderness, much like unspoken thoughts, wander the mind before finding rest. The spin of black holes inherited from their progenitors twists space-time into frame-dragging effects, where orbiting particles feel a gentle pull sideways, a rotational whisper that adds layers to their enigmatic presence. Microquasars, stellar black holes mimicking galactic centers on small scales, eject relativistic jets that trace helical paths, influenced by the system's magnetic fields, a miniature cosmos within, where accretion's heat fuels outflows that sculpt surrounding space, paralleling the way inner tensions release in measured exhales during repose. In quasar feedback, powerful winds from feeding supermassives regulate host galaxy growth, quenching excessive star formation like a thermostat maintaining balance, a regulatory grace that ensures long-term harmony across scales. Ergospheres around spinning black holes, regions where space-time drags faster than light, allow energy extraction via the Penrose process, where particles split and one falls in with negative energy, boosting the escapee's speed, a clever mechanism turning the void's pull into propulsion, much like drawing strength from depths of quietude to emerge revitalized. Tidal disruption events, where stars wander too close and are stretched into streams, feed the black hole temporarily, flaring in light before the remnants settle. a transient nourishment that highlights the selective embrace of these cosmic anchors. Supermassive black hole seeds, possibly direct collapse black holes from massive gas clouds in the early universe, grew rapidly by merging and accreting, anchoring the first quasars that pierced the cosmic dark ages, a foundational growth spurt that stabilized nascent structures, evoking the quiet anchoring of foundational beliefs amid emerging clarity. Naked singularities, theorized in extreme spins where horizons fail to form, might expose raw curvatures briefly before quantum effects cloak them, a fleeting vulnerability that underscores the protective veils nature weaves, much like the protective veils of subconscious processing shield. Raw emotions during restful integration. In Kerr metrics describing rotating black holes, closed time-like geodesics near the inner horizon suggest theoretical time loops, though unstable, hinting at the folded narratives time might permit in the cosmos's deeper folds, a speculative layering that enriches the mystery without disrupting the serene flow. Binary black hole systems in dense clusters, where dynamical interactions pair them for inspiral, produce stochastic gravitational wave backgrounds detectable as a low hum, a collective murmur from the universe's hidden mergers, much like a collective murmur of distant waves underscoring the stillness of a quiet shore. Intermediate mass black holes in globular clusters, potentially seeding supermassive growth through successive mergers, anchor dense stellar environments, their subtle tugs influencing cluster evolution, a mid-scale harmony that bridges individual fates to galactic scales, evoking the mid-scale harmonies of daily routines, bridging personal moments to lifelong arcs. In active galactic nuclei like those in Seyfert galaxies, Type 1 and 2 distinctions arise from orientation, with broad emission lines revealing fast-moving gas clouds near the horizon, a perspectival duality that shows how viewpoint shapes perception of the same central mystery, much like how viewpoint shapes the perception of inner mysteries in contemplative shifts. Blazars, quasars aligned with our line of sight, beam relativistic jets that Doppler boost emissions across spectra, appearing as variable beacons that outshine their hosts. A direct whisper from the core that pierces the distance, akin to a direct whisper from the core of self-piercing through layers of distraction in moments of clarity. In radio galaxies like Cygnus A, giant lobes inflated by jets span hundreds of kiloparsecs, their hotspots advancing like slow prows through intergalactic medium, an expansive reach that sculpts the surrounding space with radio whispers, evoking the expansive reach of quiet intentions, sculpting surrounding calm over time. Gravitational wave echoes from black hole mergers, faint post-chirp signals possibly from horizon reflections, suggest exotic structures like firewalls or echoes in space-time, a subtle reverberation that adds depth to the merger's song, much like subtle reverberations add depth to a spoken word's lingering resonance. By the way, I wonder, where are you watching from tonight? Which city and what time of day is it for you right now? Wherever you are, let that place anchor you softly as we continue our drift. From these intense centers, we ease into nebulae, the birthplaces of stars, vast clouds of gas and dust glowing with the light of newborn suns. The Orion Nebula, visible to the naked eye on clear nights, is a stellar nursery, one 344 light-years away, where hydrogen atoms spark into plasma under ultraviolet glow. These nebulae are like the fog of an early morning breath, diffusing light and color. Reds from ionized hydrogen, blues from oxygen, painting the sky in ethereal hues. They expand slowly, sculpted by stellar winds, seeding the space between with elements forged in stars. Carbon for life, iron for blood, gold for hidden treasures. In their gentle glow, nebulae symbolize renewal, a cosmic exhale dispersing seeds for the next inhalation of creation. Venture deeper into their nurseries, the Eagle Nebula's pillars of creation, towering columns of interstellar dust, 500 light-years distant, erode under the radiation of young stars, revealing protostars emerging like seedlings from soil after rain. Planetary nebulae, shed by dying sun-like stars, form delicate shells of gas that shimmer for tens of thousands of years, their shapes echoing the star's final sigh, rings, bubbles, or hourglasses of light. Dark nebulae, opaque veils like the horsehead, block starlight, cradling cooler regions where new clouds condense, a hidden gestation before the spark. These formations interact with magnetic fields, twisting plasma into filaments that guide cosmic rays, much like the invisible fields of your own relaxation. Guide stray thoughts into calm, allowing fresh inspirations to form in the quiet spaces. Reflection. Nebulae, illuminated not by their own heat, but by nearby stars' light bouncing off dust grains, create soft glows like moonlight on mist, while supernova remnants expand as bubbly shells, enriching space with heavy elements that drift for eons, waiting to condense anew. In the Helix Nebula, a planetary remnant 650 light-years away, cometary knots, dense globules trailing gas tails, evoke shooting stars in reverse, harbingers of future stellar births, their slow unveiling a metaphor for the patient unfolding of dreams in the subconscious night. Protoplanetary disks around young stars, swirling with pebbles that accrete into planetesimals, hint at planetary formation in real time, observed by Alma's sensitive eyes, where shadows of forming worlds cast long silhouettes against the stellar glow, a prelude to the dances we'll explore next. Bipolar outflows from protostars, jets of material shooting along magnetic axes, carve cavities in surrounding clouds, clearing paths for the young star's emergence. A birthing canal of ionized gas that glows faintly, much like the subtle clearing of mental fog as relaxation takes hold. The Tarantula Nebula in the large Magellanic Cloud, a supergiant region spawning massive stars, pulses with ongoing drama, its 30 Doradus core, a factory of supernovae to be, illuminating the irregular galaxy's edge with a diffuse radiance that speaks of vigorous yet harmonious growth. Emission nebulae like the Lagoon, spanning 110 light-years, harbor open clusters within, where O-type stars ionize surrounding hydrogen into glowing regions, a symbiotic relationship that fosters mutual evolution, evoking the nurturing interplay of breath and body in deepening calm. In Bok globules, small dark clouds collapsing under their own weight, the first hints of stellar cores form, isolated cocoons that promise light. A quiet inception mirroring the seed of serenity planted in the mind's fertile soil. Herbig Haro objects, glowing knots where outflows collide with ambient gas, mark the turbulent youth of forming stars. Their bow shocks creating miniature nebulae of heated plasma, a dynamic punctuation in the slow narrative of birth, akin to the gentle stirrings of awareness in the transition to sleep. Proplyds in Orion, photo-evaporating disks silhouetted against the stellar backdrop, reveal the harsh yet sculpting influence of massive neighbors, trimming excesses to refine planetary potential, much like pruning thoughts to cultivate deeper repose. Elephant trunks in IC 1396, elongated pillars sculpted by radiation pressure, cradle-embedded stars in their tips, a protective elongation that shields nascent light from overwhelming glare, evoking the sheltering extensions of calm that buffer against intrusive distractions. In the Trifid Nebula, where dark lanes divide bright emissions, the interplay of absorption and glow creates a tripartite vista, a balanced division that hints at the selective illumination guiding cosmic artistry, much like discerning focus highlights, essential whispers in a sea of ambient quiet. The Carina Nebula's mystic mountain, a jagged ridge of dust pierced by stellar winds, hosts evaporating globules that birth low-mass stars in sheltered nooks. A rugged sanctuary where erosion fosters emergence, paralleling the erosion of rigid habits that fosters inner flexibility during unwinding. In the Crab Nebula, a pulsar-powered remnant from a 1054 supernova, synchrotron filaments pulse with the neutron star's rotation, a luminous web that expands at 1,500 kilometers per second, weaving energy from collapse into expansive display, much like the weaving of daily fragments into cohesive narrative in reflective solitude. The Rosette Nebula, a vast bubble blown by winds from a central cluster, encloses a dark molecular cloud where new stars gestate in protected cores, an expansive cradle where outward pressure creates inward sanctuary, evoking the expansive release of breath, creating inward space for tranquility. The Witch Head Nebula, a reflection cloud shaped like a spectral face, scatters blue light from nearby Rigel, its dusty veil a serene mask over hidden depths, suggesting how even ominous forms harbor peaceful interiors, much like how evening shadows harbor peaceful interludes. In the California Nebula, a flowing river of emission gas spanning 100 light-years, ionized by Xi Persei, traces a serpentine path through Perseus, its elongated glow a gentle current carrying potential toward unseen destinations, akin to the gentle currents of a stream carrying leaves toward calmer pools. The Heart Nebula, IC 1805, a vast emission complex shaped like a beating organ, pulses with embedded clusters whose winds carve out cavities, a vital throb that nurtures the surrounding gas into further complexity. Much like a vital throb of heartbeat, nurtures the surrounding body into further harmony during rest. In the Soul Nebula, its companion with intricate dust lanes weaving through glowing hydrogen, young stars emerge from molecular cores, a soulful interplay of light and shadow that evokes the soulful interplay of light and shadow in the mind's quiet landscapes, where emergence happens in veiled grace. Matter, the building block of all this wonder, flows through the universe in forms both ordinary and unseen. What we see, stars, planets, nebulae, is just 5% of the total. The rest is dark matter, an invisible scaffold holding galaxies together, and dark energy, the mysterious force accelerating the universe's expansion. Matter began, in our story, with the simplest particles: protons, neutrons, electrons, forged in the fiery aftermath of that supposed Big Bang. But if the Big Bang was a continuation, perhaps these particles cycled from a previous universe, recycled through some grand compression and release. Like the atoms in your body, once part of ancient stars, matter connects us to the infinite, a shared essence breathing through time. Reflect on its journey. In the moments after the bang, or rebound, quarks and gluons swirled in a quark-gluon plasma, hotter than the sun's core, cooling to form protons and neutrons in the first minutes. Nucleosynthesis followed, cooking up hydrogen and helium in the expanding fireball, the seeds of all future atoms. Heavier elements emerged only in stars, fused and flung by supernovae, drifting through space until gravity gathered them into planets. On Earth, this matter dances in cycles. Water evaporates from oceans, forms clouds, falls as rain, mirroring the universe's grand recycling. Dark matter, inferred from galaxy rotation curves, stars orbiting too fast without flying apart, might be weakly interacting massive particles, ghosts that pass through ordinary matter like breath through fog, yet their gravity shapes the large-scale structure, forming filaments and voids in the cosmic web. Dark energy, comprising 68% of everything, acts as a repulsive pressure, stretching space itself, a subtle push that could be the vacuum's inherent energy, ever present like the quiet hum of existence before sleep, claims you fully. Baryonic matter, the everyday stuff, clusters in ways that reveal its history. Cosmic rays, high-energy protons zipping through space, originate from supernova shocks, accelerating particles to near-light speeds, their trails detected as faint moans showering Earth's atmosphere, linking stellar violence to our quiet nights. Antimatter, matter's mirror, annihilates on contact, but traces linger in thunderstorms or cosmic voids, a fleeting reminder of balance, much like the equilibrium your body seeks in repose, particles and waves harmonizing into peaceful inertia. Interstellar medium, the tenuous gas and dust filling galactic spaces, serves as a reservoir for star formation, its composition varying from ionized plasma in hot bubbles to molecular clouds dense enough to birth clusters. A diffuse breath that sustains the cycle, much like the air you draw in now, nourishing the subtle energies of rest. Plasma, the fourth state of matter-dominating cosmic volumes, conducts electricity along field lines, powering auroras and solar winds, its charged flows creating magnetic reconnections that release energy in bursts. A dynamic equilibrium that mirrors the balanced flow of energy in your relaxed state. Exotic states, like Bose-Einstein, condensates in lab simulations evoke quantum behaviors at near absolute zero, hinting at how matter might behave in the universe's coldest corners, a whisper of order in the deep freeze. Neutronium, the ultra-dense matter in neutron star cores, resists further collapse through degeneracy pressure, a quantum repulsion that holds against gravity's crush, forming a bridge to black hole thresholds where matter's extremes reveal its resilient poetry. In cosmic dust cycles, grains form in stellar outflows, grow by sticking in cold clouds, and shatter in shocks, their evolution a granular narrative of aggregation and dispersal, much like the ebb and flow of daily experiences coalescing into wisdom during reflective pauses. Strange matter, hypothesized in quark stars, might consist of up, down, and strange quarks in stable combinations, denser than neutron matter, and potentially converting ordinary nuclei, a speculative phase that challenges our understanding of stability, evoking the transformative potential hidden in apparent solidity. Molecular hydrogen in diffuse clouds, formed on dust-grained surfaces before desorbing, initiates cooling that allows denser structures to collapse, a catalytic role in the chain of creation, much like small acts of kindness, ripple into broader harmony. Quark-gluon plasma recreations in particle accelerators, like RHIC, simulate early universe conditions, where heavy ions collide to melt protons into a free-flowing soup, revealing matter's primordial fluidity, a laboratory echo that connects high-energy transients to the enduring calm of cosmic evolution. In cosmic ray spallation, high-speed particles chip atoms in interstellar gas, producing rare isotopes like beryllium-10 that drift as traces of galactic history, subtle markers that weave the narrative of matter's long voyage through space's quiet expanses. Metallicities in stellar atmospheres, graded from population 3's pristine hydrogen to modern enrichments with iron peaks, trace nucleosynthetic histories across galactic disks, a compositional timeline that layers complexity like sediments in a serene riverbed, fostering the gradual sophistication of cosmic artistry. In ionized hydrogen regions, H2 zones around young clusters, recombination lines emit radio whispers that map densities, a faint dialogue between excitation and return to neutrality, much like the dialogue between activity and stillness in the body's natural settling. Pre-solar grains in meteorites, tiny diamonds or silicon carbides preserving isotopic signatures from ancient supernova, offer direct samples of interstellar matter, a preserved whisper from the void that links stellar forges to our planet's soil, evoking the preserved whispers of ancestral wisdom in the soil of personal heritage. Degenerate matter in white dwarfs, where electron pressure counters gravity, allows cooling over billions of years into black dwarfs, a prolonged quiescence that awaits future perturbations. Much like dormant potentials in the mind, await gentle nudges to awaken in serene clarity. In magnetars, extreme magnetic fields twist neutron matter into ordered lattices, their crusts cracking to release gamma bursts, a structured intensity that yields to eventual magnetic decay, paralleling how structured intensities in daily focus yield to eventual release in evening unwind. Hyperons in neutron star interiors, strange baryons emerging under extreme pressure, soften the equation of state, allowing larger radii for observed masses, a exotic softening that adds fluidity to dense extremes. Much like exotic softenings in rigid routines, add fluidity to daily flow toward evening ease. In quark matter phases, deconfined quarks form a color superconducting state at high densities, pairing to lower energy, a cooperative bonding that stabilizes the core against collapse, evoking the cooperative bondings that stabilize inner cores against collapse in moments of stress. Pions and kaons in nuclear matter, light mesons mediating interactions, condenser in cold, dense environments, altering compressibility, a Masonic veil that cushions transitions, much like Masonic veils of subtle emotions cushion life's transitions in reflective grace. In heavy ion collisions, jet quenching where high-energy partons lose energy traversing quark-gluon plasma, reveals the medium's opacity, a viscous drag that slows propagation, paralleling the viscous drag of accumulated fatigue slowing the day's end into restful pause. Chiral symmetry restoration at high temperatures, where quark masses lighten and condensates melt, uncovers a symmetric phase underlying complexity, a foundational unveiling that hints at matter's return to primordial poise, akin to the unveiling of foundational poise beneath daily complexities in contemplative unwind. Time itself weaves through this narrative, a dimension as fluid as a dream. In the standard tale, the Big Bang marked time's arrow 13.8 billion years ago, expanding space from a hot, dense state. Yet relativity teaches us time is relative, faster near mass, slower in motion, challenging any true beginning. If the universe cycles, time might loop like the phases of sleep, expansion as wakefulness, contraction as deepening rest, birthing new eras without end. Planets mark time with days and years, stars with their lifespans, galaxies with collisions that reshape eons. As you listen, feel time soften around you, each word a gentle tick toward tranquility, mirroring the universe's unhurried pace. Ponder its bends. On a neutron star, a teaspoon of matter weighs billions of tons, and time dilates so severely that seconds there equate to hours elsewhere. The surface spinning near light speed in a blur of frozen moments. Cosmic timescales dwarf our own. The light from distant quasars, powered by feeding black holes, left billions of years ago, carrying snapshots of youthful galaxies when the universe was a third its current age. In general relativity, time emerges from space-time's curvature, a fabric woven by mass and energy, where wormholes or closed time-like curves might theoretically loop back, though quantum effects likely prevent true time travel. In a cyclic model, inspired by Penrose's conformal cyclic cosmology, the infinite expansion fades to a smooth state, time's end blending into a new Big Bang, like waking from one dream into another, seamless and eternal. This fluidity invites us to release our grip on hours and minutes, letting personal time dissolve into the broader current as your eyelids grow heavier with each passing breath. Pulsars, spinning neutron stars beaming radio pulses like lighthouses, serve as cosmic clocks, their regularity rivaling atomic standards, ticking off milliseconds across light years, while gravitational waves, ripples in space-time from merging black holes, stretch and squeeze time's fabric, detected as faint chirps by observatories on Earth, reminding us that time isn't rigid, but a responsive echo, bending to the universe's subtle harmonies, much like how the flow of your thoughts bends to the soothing cadence of this tale. Sidereal time, measured against the stars rather than the sun, reveals the slow precession of Earth's axis, a 26,000-year wobble that shifts constellations across millennia, a gentle nod to time's layered depths, where short nights blend into long cosmic seasons. Chronometry in space, adjusted for relativistic effects on GPS satellites, ensures our earthly clocks stay synced with the heavens, a practical bridge between human haste and cosmic leisure, underscoring time's malleable nature in everyday wonders. In black hole binaries, orbital decay from gravitational radiation spirals partners closer over eons, a slow tightening that culminates in merger, time's inexorable yet graceful progression toward unity. Look back time, the duration light has traveled to reach us, places ancient events in perspective, with the universe's youth visible in high redshift objects, a backward gaze that enriches the present with historical depth, much like reminiscing on a day's events fosters gratitude in the quiet before sleep. Thermonuclear clocks in stars, where fusion rates set lifespans, vary with mass, allowing low-mass red dwarfs to burn for trillions of years, outlasting galaxies themselves, a testament to time's expansive canvas where patience yields longevity. Proper time for photons, zero along their null geodesics, contrasts with our ticking existence, a reminder that time's passage is observer-dependent, weaving perspectives into a multifaceted tapestry, akin to how personal timelines intersect in collective memory. In De Sitter space, approximating our dark energy-dominated future, time expands eternally without boundaries, a serene horizon where events recede gently, inviting contemplation of persistence amid dilution. Conformal time, rescaling proper time to unify light paths in expanding universes, smooths the metric for cyclic transitions, a coordinate choice that reveals underlying symmetries, much like reframing daily routines, uncovers rhythms of renewal in the ordinary flow. In quantum gravity approaches, time emerges from entangled states rather than pre-existing, a derivative quality born from correlations, suggesting the universe's tempo arises from relational harmonies, paralleling how moments gain meaning through interconnected reflections in repose. Coordinate time in expanding metrics, like Friedman-Lemaitre-Robertson-Walker, tracks global evolution while co-moving observers experience localized flows, a dual perspective that accommodates both vast sweeps and intimate pauses, evoking the dual awareness of cosmic scale and personal breadth in meditative unity. In Wheeler-DeWitt equation of quantum gravity, time disappears as a variable, replaced by timeless wave functions, a static eternity where change arises from correlations, a profound stillness that mirrors the timeless core of deep sleep, where sequences dissolve into pure being. Age of the universe estimates, refined by Planck satellite data, to 13.8 billion years with 0.02% precision, anchor our timeline, yet invite revisions from local measurements, a harmonious tension that propels understanding forward, much like the harmonious tension between memory and anticipation propels personal narrative in reflective states. Dynamical time in relativistic systems, where clocks tick according to local geometry, varies across cosmic structures, from accelerated frames near black holes to decelerated ones in clusters, a localized rhythm that enriches the global flow, akin to localized rhythms of heartbeat, varying yet harmonizing in overall repose. In conformal cyclic models, the infinite future rescales to a new Big Bang singularity, preserving angular patterns across ions, a geometric memory that threads cycles, evoking how geometric memories of patterns in life thread personal cycles with continuity. Hubble time, the inverse of the expansion rate giving a rough age estimate, aligns closely with direct measures, a simple extrapolation that captures the universe's measured maturity, much like a simple extrapolation from daily habits captures the measured maturity of personal growth. In GPS relativity corrections, special relativistic time dilation from satellite velocity and general relativistic gravitational redshift combine to slow orbital clocks by 38 microseconds daily, a precise tuning that keeps global positioning accurate, bridging cosmic principles to terrestrial utility in subtle harmony. In binary pulsar timing, orbital periods decay, matching general relativity predictions from gravitational wave emission, a laboratory for strong field tests, where time's flow reveals theory's elegance, much like the flow of a conversation reveals the elegance of shared understanding. Redshift as a time dilation measure, where distant supernovae appear stretched in duration, confirms expansion's effect on temporal scales, a visual slowing that deepens our sense of cosmic distance, akin to the visual slowing of a sunset deepening our sense of day's end. In cosmic chronometers, differential evolution of galaxy ages at high redshifts probes expansion history without assuming models, a empirical rhythm that maps time's unfolding through stellar life cycles, evoking the empirical rhythms of personal life cycles, mapping time's unfolding in quiet retrospect. Proper time along null geodesics for light, invariant across frames, underscores light's timeless journey, a constant thread weaving events into sequence, much like a constant thread of breath, weaves sensations into the sequence of repose. In ADS-CFT correspondence, time in anti-de Sitter bulk emerges from boundary conformal field theory, a holographic duality where temporal dynamics arise from timeless correlations, suggesting deeper unities beneath apparent flow, akin to deeper unities beneath the apparent flow of dream narratives. In Page Time for Evaporating Black Holes, when half the entropy has radiated, information begins to emerge, marking a transition from loss to recovery, a pivotal balance that assures continuity, much like pivotal balances in sleep, mark transitions from fragmentation to integrated wholeness. In thermodynamic time arrows, entropy gradients drive irreversibility from low to high disorder. Yet in closed cyclic systems, reversals occur at microscopic scales, a nuanced directionality that allows for renewal without contradiction, evoking the nuanced directionality of thoughts, allowing for renewal in meditative cycles. Nebulae give way to the grander voids between, where infinity whispers. The observable universe spans 93 billion light-years, yet that's just a glimpse. Beyond lies more, perhaps infinite in extent. Infinity isn't emptiness, but potential, a boundless ocean where galaxies recede like horizons. In this expanse, the idea of a cyclic Big Bang fits poetically. What if our explosion was the rebound from a previous Big Crunch, where everything collapsed into a singularity, only to burst forth again? Theories like eternal inflation suggest bubble universes budding endlessly, each a continuation of the last. Or loop quantum gravity proposes bounces, avoiding true singularities, turning the cosmos into an eternal rhythm. Inhale, exhale, dream without awakening. Wander these voids. The cosmic microwave background, a faint glow from 380,000 years post-bang, maps temperature ripples that seeded galaxy formation, a fossil echo of quantum fluctuations amplified by inflation, a brief phase where space ballooned faster than light, smoothing the universe while stretching it vast. Voids between superclusters, immense bubbles hundreds of millions of light-years across, contain scant matter, their emptiness a canvas for dark energy's dominance, expanding them further. Yet even here, filaments of gas bridge the gaps, faint threads detected by radio telescopes, hinting at hidden connections. Infinity challenges our senses. The multiverse hypothesis posits countless realms with varying laws, some where gravity weakens, stars never form, others where time flows backward, each a dream variant in the mind of existence. Like the silence between thoughts as you drift towards sleep, these spaces hold possibility, a patient wait for the next stir of creation. The Great Wall, a vast structure of galaxies spanning 1 billion light-years, challenges ideas of uniformity, a filamentary behemoth discovered in surveys, weaving through the cosmic web like veins in a leaf, carrying the lifeblood of matter across scales. In these expanses, cosmic neutrinos, ghostly particles from the Big Bang, stream through everything, trillions passing through your body each second, relics of that primordial heat. Their weak interactions a testament to the universe's layered subtlety, fostering a sense of permeable unity where boundaries blur into one continuous fabric. Lyman alpha forests, absorption lines in quasar spectra from intervening gas clouds, map the early universe's structure, ghostly silhouettes of forming galaxies etched in light, a spectral poetry that unfolds the hidden architecture of infinity's dawn. Eridanus supervoid, a colossal underdensity spanning 1 billion light-years, dims the cosmic background slightly, its sparse galaxies a quiet expanse where expansion feels even more pronounced, a meditative void inviting contemplation of absence as fertile ground. In multiverse landscapes, string theory's landscape of 10^500 possible vacua suggests infinite variations, each bubble a unique dreamscape, their boundaries perhaps clashing in rare collisions that leave imprints on our sky, subtle scars from neighboring realities. Booty's void, another immense emptiness 330 million light-years wide, harbors only a handful of galaxies, its vastness a canvas of potential where dark matter might slowly gather unseen threads. A prolonged hush that anticipates subtle awakenings, much like the anticipatory pause before a deep, renewing breath. Integrated Sachs-Wolf effect, where CMB photons gain or lose energy, crossing evolving potentials in voids, adds faint patterns to the background, a dynamic imprint of structure on the ancient light, revealing how even emptiness interacts with the cosmos's glow. Sunyaev-Zeldovich effect, where hot cluster gas scatters CMB photons, creates shadows in the microwave sky, a thermal interplay that maps mass distributions indirectly, bridging voids and filaments in a web of subtle influences, evoking the interconnected silences that underpin vocal narratives. In cosmic horizon, the particle horizon limits what light has reached us, defining our observable patch, while the event horizon marks what will never arrive, a dual boundary that frames infinity with gentle constraints, much like the edges of awareness, frame dreams without confining them. Local voids, like the local hole, encompassing our galactic neighborhood, shape peculiar velocities, subtle drifts that nudge the cosmic flow, a localized respite within the grand expansion, akin to pockets of stillness in a gently flowing stream. In the cosmic web's skeleton, walls of galaxies enclose voids like delicate membranes, their thin distributions traced by surveys such as SDSS, a filigree architecture where scarcity and abundance alternate in poised equilibrium, mirroring the balanced voids and fullness in meditative breathwork. Underdense regions in the early universe, amplified by dark energy, evolve into supervoids that subtly alter photon paths. Their expansive pull a quiet counterpoint to gravitational clustering, fostering a rhythmic interplay that sustains the web's overall harmony. Much like the rhythmic pauses in speech, allow meaning to resonate deeply. In the cosmic variance, fluctuations in void sizes across surveys reveal statistical patterns, a probabilistic tapestry where each emptiness contributes to the universe's textured vastness, inviting a sense of probabilistic grace in the unfolding of infinite possibilities. Giant voids like the KBC void, potentially encompassing our local supercluster, might explain Hubble tension through modified expansion rates, a localized dilution that softens the cosmic pace, evoking the localized dilutions of focus that soften the pace of inner dialogue toward serenity. In void walls, thin sheets of galaxies mark boundaries where matter accumulates preferentially, their clumpy distributions a transitional zone between scarcity and plenty, a liminal space that nurtures hybrid formations, much like liminal spaces between wakefulness and sleep nurture hybrid visions. Giant arc voids, curved underdensities spanning degrees on the sky, hint at large-scale asymmetries in the early universe, faint imbalances that add character to the web's symmetry, a subtle curvature that echoes the subtle curvatures of personal paths, adding character to life's symmetry. In void alignment with large-scale flows, elongated empties channel matter toward denser regions, a directional guidance through absence, much like directional guidance through mental absences channels focus toward denser insights. Statistical void properties, from size distributions following excursion set theory, model the web's porosity, a mathematical serenity that quantifies the balance of empty and full, evoking the mathematical serenity of balanced equations in the mind's quiet calculations. In supervoid CMB correlations, cold spots aligned with underdensities suggest integrated effects over cosmic history, a faint cooling from the void's pull, linking emptiness to the background's whisper in a continuous thermal dialogue, much like linking inner emptiness to the background's whisper in a continuous inner dialogue. Drift now to the edges of our knowledge, where dark energy pushes galaxies apart faster than light could bridge them, stretching space like a yawn at dusk. This acceleration, discovered in 1998 through distant supernova, hints at a universe that might expand forever, cooling into a vast, quiet sleep. Yet in cycles, even this could reverse, drawing back for renewal. Planets in distant systems, exoplanets numbering thousands, some rocky like Earth, others oceanic or volcanic, dot this infinity, potential cradles for life, reminding us the universe teems with possibility. Like breaths sinking in meditation, all connects. A star's light touches a planet's sea, influences a nebula's birth, echoes through time to reach your ears tonight. Envision those worlds, hot Jupiters, gas giants orbiting perilously close, their atmospheres bloated by stellar heat, tails of evaporating gas trailing like comet whispers. Super-Earths, larger and denser, might harbor deep oceans under thick ice, pressure-cooked environments where exotic life forms could thrive in chemosynthetic glow, independent of sunlight. Rogue planets ejected from systems wander the interstellar cold, warmed perhaps by internal heat from radioactive decay, lonely drifters in the dark, sustained by their own quiet fires. Telescopes peer at TRAPPIST-1, a dim red dwarf with 7 Earth-sized worlds in resonance, their orbits locked in a gravitational symphony, potentially sharing atmospheres rich with water vapor. In this proliferation, the universe suggests life is no anomaly, but a recurring melody, matter arranging into complexity wherever conditions allow, much like how simple relaxation arranges your thoughts into peaceful patterns, fostering dreams of connection across the void. Biosignatures like atmospheric oxygen or methane imbalances might soon be detected in these atmospheres via spectroscopy, hinting at distant metabolisms, while diamond planets around white dwarfs, cores of carbon under immense pressure, sparkle with crystalline facets, forged from the remnants of shattered worlds, a poetic endurance where even destruction yields beauty. In the Oort cloud encircling our solar system, a spherical shell of icy comets extends halfway to the next star. Perturbed occasionally to send visitors like Halley's Comet, arcing through our skies, tails glowing in sunlight, carriers of ancient volatiles that perhaps seeded Earth's waters, linking the local to the infinite in a trail of frozen whispers. Mini-Neptunes with puffy atmospheres of hydrogen and helium, bridge gas giants and terrestrials, their hazy veils hiding rocky cores or vast seas, observed in transit surveys where dips in starlight reveal their presence. A subtle choreography of worlds in the grand expanse. Lava worlds, tidally locked with molten surfaces facing their stars, bubble with silicate magmas that form glassy oceans, their atmospheres thick with vaporized rock, extreme yet stable in their fiery equilibrium, evoking the inner heat that simmers beneath calm exteriors. The Proxima Centauri system, our nearest neighbor, hosts a potentially habitable rocky planet in the habitable zone of a red dwarf, its flares challenging atmospheres but perhaps fostering resilient biospheres adapted to intermittent light, a close whisper of cosmic companionship. Eyeball planets, tidally locked with a frozen nightside and liquid dayside pool, might support life in the perpetual twilight zone, where temperature gradients drive atmospheric circulations, a balanced habitat emerging from extremes, much like equilibrium arises from contrasting sensations in a body at rest. In multi-planet resonances like those in K2-138, worlds align in chains of near 3.2 ratios, their migrations stabilized by mutual tugs, a harmonious procession that sustains long-term stability, echoing the synchronized rhythms of natural cycles. Venus-like worlds with runaway greenhouses, where water vapor amplifies heating to steam atmospheres, represent tipping points in planetary evolution, a cautionary yet instructive phase where atmospheres thicken into veils, much like unchecked thoughts, veil clarity until mindful release restores perspective. In the habitable edge around white dwarfs, post-main sequence remnants might host brief windows for life on inner planets, their fading glow providing stable conditions before final dimming, a twilight opportunity underscoring the transient niches within eternity. Hyxian worlds, hydrogen-rich envelopes over water oceans around red dwarfs, could sustain warm, steamy environments conducive to complex chemistry, their hazy skies filtering light into diffused glows, a veiled habitability that invites speculation on veiled possibilities. Much like the veiled depths of intuition reveal themselves in unhurried contemplation. Iron planets, accumulated around metal-rich stars, boast dense cores with thin silicate mantles, their high gravities compressing atmospheres into metallic hydrogen layers, a weighted solidity that endures tidal stresses, evoking the weighted yet steadfast presence of grounded awareness in meditative states. In the Kepler 1649 system, a near-Earth twin orbits a cool star in the habitable zone, its potential for liquid water tempered by stellar variability, a delicate poise between promise and flux, much like the delicate poise between wakefulness and slumber. Sub-Neptunes with water-enriched compositions, their mantles transitioning from ice to supercritical fluid under pressure, might harbor global oceans that drive vigorous convection, a fluid dynamism that circulates heat and nutrients, paralleling the fluid dynamism of circulating thoughts, fostering holistic insight in repose. In the WASP-12 system, a disintegrating hot Jupiter loses mass to its star in a comet-like tail, its orbit decaying over time, a poignant dissolution that highlights the impermanence of close bonds. Yet, in the broader cycle, its material enriches the stellar wind. Much like poignant dissolutions in life, enrich the flow of growth. Lava ocean planets around young stars, where global magmas solidify into crusts over time, might evolve plate tectonics from convective vigor, a geological awakening that recycles volatiles for atmospheric stability, evoking the awakening of geological layers within the self that recycle experiences for emotional stability. In the 55 Cancri E system, a super-Earth with potential carbon-rich interior, infrared emissions suggest a glowing nightside from tidal heating, a persistent warmth that defies its close orbit's harshness. Much like persistent warmth defies the harshness of routine in inner reserves. Megaplanets, hypothetical giants from direct collapse around massive stars, could migrate outward to form distant ice giants, their formation a rapid gathering that seeds outer system architectures, a swift inception that allows for expansive orbits, akin to swift inceptions of ideas allowing for expansive reflections. As we circle back to the heart of our theme, let's linger on the philosophical undercurrents of a universe without a true origin. If the Big Bang was but one verse in an endless song, then every galaxy's spiral traces a refrain of recurrence, every black hole a pause before the next note. Time, in its relativistic dance, folds past and future into an eternal now, where the first light of reionization, when ultraviolet rays cleared the fog of neutral hydrogen 12 billion years ago, blends with tomorrow's undiscovered worlds. Matter's journey from plasma to person underscores our place. The calcium in your bones from exploded stars, the oxygen in your lungs from ancient seas, all recycled through cosmic breaths. Nebulae, with their patient glow, evoke the artistry of emergence, dust motes coalescing not by chance, but by the universe's inherent tendency toward order amid chaos. Infinity, far from daunting, becomes a comforting expanse, an ocean where waves of expansion and contraction carry us onward, much like the ebb of wakefulness into sleep's embrace. Consider the Great Attractor, a gravitational anomaly pulling our local group at 600 kilometers per second, hidden behind the Milky Way's dust, drawing us toward unseen depths. A subtle reminder that even in vastness, there's direction, a gentle pull toward unity. Quantum entanglement, where particles linked across distances influence each other instantaneously, suggests a deeper interconnectedness, defying space's separation, much like how shared dreams might weave invisible bonds between souls. In cyclic visions, entropy's arrow, disorder's increase, resets with each bounce, allowing freshness without finality, a cosmic renewal akin to the rejuvenating clarity after a full night's rest. The Hubble constant, measuring expansion at 70 kilometers per second per megaparsec, carries uncertainties that fuel debates. Yet each refinement draws us closer to understanding the rhythm, inviting humility in the face of such grandeur. Scale-invariant structures, from quantum foam to galactic clusters, hint at fractal patterns in the cosmos, self-similar echoes that bridge the minuscule and the immense. A harmonious design where every level reflects the whole. Much like the fractal branching of veins or lungs, mirroring the universe's breath within your own. Anthropic principles ponder why constants allow observers like us, suggesting a multiverse selects for habitability, a thoughtful alignment where existence favors awareness, much as your current repose favors introspection. In ekpyrotic models, brain collisions in higher dimensions trigger bangs, a cyclic clash yielding smooth expansion, extending the theme of continuation through multidimensional harmony. Fine-tuning arguments, noting how slight changes in constants would preclude complexity, invite wonder at the cosmos's hospitality, a philosophical invitation to appreciate the improbable grace that permits our contemplation, akin to the serendipity of finding peace in an ordinary evening. Emergent properties, where simple rules yield intricate behaviors, from cellular automata to neural networks, suggest the universe's laws foster creativity at every scale. A generative flow that turns potential into poetry, much like idle thoughts, blossom into profound insights during unhurried reflection. Participatory universe ideas, where observation shapes reality's unfolding, imply a collaborative cosmos, with consciousness as an active thread in the weave, a gentle partnership that elevates existence beyond mechanism. Much like the active listening in this tale shapes your inner journey. In Boltzmann brains, hypothetical self-aware entities fluctuating from thermal equilibrium in far future voids, we confront the improbability of ordered minds. Yet, in cyclic renewal, such anomalies give way to structured rebirths, reaffirming the preference for coherent narratives over fleeting whims. Process philosophy, viewing reality as a series of becoming rather than static being, aligns with cyclic cosmologies by emphasizing flux and relation, a dynamic ontology where each phase builds on the last, evoking the ongoing becoming of self through layers of experience in tranquil retrospect. In panpsychist leanings, consciousness permeates matter at fundamental levels, from quarks to quasars, suggesting the universe dreams itself into awareness, a pervasive sentience that infuses infinity with subtle purpose, much like the quiet awareness infusing your drifting state with gentle presence. Relational ontology, where entities derive meaning from interactions, extends to cosmic scales, positing that isolation yields no essence, only the web of relations defines being. An interconnected philosophy that comforts with its emphasis on unity, akin to the comforting unity of body and breath in deepening relaxation. In Whiteheadian cosmology, actual occasions, momentary events, prehend the universe's creative advance, a prehensive weave that propels evolution, blending novelty with conservation in eternal becoming. Much like the prehensive weave of memories propels personal growth in reflective pauses. Ontological pluralism, allowing multiple modes of existence in the multiverse, enriches cyclic themes by accommodating diverse realities without hierarchy, a tolerant expanse where each variant contributes to the infinite chorus, evoking the tolerant expanse of the mind, embracing varied dream motifs. Eternalism, viewing all moments as equally real in a block universe, aligns with cyclic loops by eternalizing the flow. A static yet vibrant eternity where past, present, and future coexist in harmonious layers. Much like layers of dream states coexist in the timeless expanse of night. In possibilism, potentialities branch without actualization in single paths, suggesting a plenum of unrealized worlds that nourish the actual through contrast. A philosophical abundance that underscores the richness of our observed continuity, akin to the abundance of unspoken potentials nourishing spoken narratives in quiet discourse. Perspectival realism, where reality manifests through observer frames, extends cyclic continuity by allowing multiple viewpoints to coexist in the loop, a multifaceted lens that deepens appreciation for subjective harmonies within objective flows. Much like subjective harmonies in personal reflection, deepen within the objective flow of time. In process ontology, creativity as the universe's fundamental drive propels cyclic phases forward, each contraction a creative gestation, yielding expansive novelty, a perpetual becoming that mirrors the perpetual becoming of awareness in dreamless sleep, turning to vivid visions. Hylomorphism, blending form and matter in Aristotelian terms, views cosmic cycles as informed matter evolving through potentiality to actuality, a teleological undercurrent that infuses infinity with purposeful unfolding. Much like purposeful unfoldings, in personal aspirations infuse daily cycles with direction. In idealist cosmologies, mind as primary substance shapes material forms, suggesting the universe's cycles reflect a grand mental process, a contemplative genesis where physical laws emerge from thought's serene architecture, evoking how thought's architecture emerges from serene contemplation in your current state. Monistic philosophies, positing a single underlying reality manifesting diversely, align cyclic models by viewing bangs and crunches as modes of the one substance's expression, a unified essence that breathes through all phases, akin to the unified essence of self-breathing through all phases of rest. In vitalist leanings, a life force animates cosmic matter, driving cycles toward complexity and renewal, a subtle vitality that permeates voids and stars alike, much like a subtle vitality permeates the body in restorative slumber. Pluralistic monism, where multiple aspects unify in a holistic ground, enriches the cyclic tapestry with layered integrities, a harmonious multiplicity that sustains the loop's diversity, evoking the harmonious multiplicity of sensations unifying in holistic repose. In emergentist views, higher properties arise from lower without reduction, allowing consciousness to bloom from matter's cycles, a layered ascent that crowns the physical with the aware, much like awareness crowns the physical sensations of relaxation with profound insight. In quieter moments, the cosmos mirrors our inner worlds, the silence of space, unbroken by sound waves in vacuum, akin to the hush before sleep, where senses withdraw and imagination blooms. Stars twinkle not from inherent flicker, but from atmospheric turbulence bending their light, a terrestrial veil over cosmic steadiness, inviting us to see beyond illusions. Galaxies' redshifts, stretching wavelengths as they flee, paint the sky in lengthening hues, a visual lullaby of distance and time. And in the potential of dark energy's push, there's a poetry of release, letting go, expanding into boundless peace, just as you might release the day's hold now, allowing your mind to wander freely among these wonders. Auroras on distant worlds, charged particles dancing in magnetic fields, light up polar skies with greens and purples, echoes of solar wind interactions that span systems, while meteor showers streak through our atmosphere, fragments of ancient comets burning briefly, their fleeting trails a meditation on impermanence and beauty. The zodiacal light, sunlight scattered by interplanetary dust, forms a faint pyramid at dawn and dusk, a subtle glow linking Earth's orbit to the solar tapestry, reminding us that even in our small corner, the infinite brushes close. Interstellar dust grains, carried by radiation pressure or gravity, journey between stars, their surfaces etched with cosmic histories, absorbing ultraviolet light to re-emit in infrared. Detected by telescopes like Spitzer, a warm underglow sustaining the chill of space, akin to the inner warmth that sustains you through the night's quiet vigil. Counterglow, or Gegenschein, the faint brightening opposite the sun from zodiacal dust, scatters light back toward us, a delicate counterpoint in the solar system's dust bowl, evoking the reflective glow of inner light in moments of stillness. Planetary nebulae like the cat's eye, with concentric shells from repeated ejections, reveal a star's episodic shedding, a layered history unfolding like petals in slow motion, inviting us to appreciate the beauty in gradual revelation. Olber's paradox, questioning why the night sky is dark in an infinite static universe, resolved by expansion and finite age, underscores the dynamic nature of our cosmos, a thoughtful puzzle that highlights the elegance of ongoing change, much like the darkness of night invites the light of dreams. In cosmic horizon problems, inflation smoothed initial irregularities, creating the uniformity we observe, a unifying process that binds disparate regions, paralleling how diverse experiences unify in the coherence of memory. Airy disks, the diffraction patterns limiting telescope resolution, remind us of light's wave nature blurring the sharpest views, a fundamental softness in observation that encourages imaginative filling of gaps, much like the soft focus of half-closed eyes nurtures visionary drifts. In gravitational lensing, massive objects bend light paths to magnify distant galaxies, creating arcs and rings that reveal hidden masses. A natural telescope enhancing our gaze, evoking how perspective shifts illuminate overlooked truths in personal reverie. Microlensing events, where foreground stars briefly amplify light from background ones, uncover isolated exoplanets or rogue objects, fleeting alignments that pierce the dark with temporary clarity. Much like momentary insights, pierce the veil of routine to reveal deeper connections. In the cosmic optical background, unresolved starlight from distant galaxies forms a diffuse glow, a collective luminescence that bathes the void softly, linking individual flickers into a unified haze, akin to how individual memories blend into the ambient glow of lived wisdom. The extragalactic background light, accumulating photons from all unresolved sources, dims with distance due to redshift, a fading chorus that sets the stage for deeper observations, much like the fading chorus of daytime sounds sets the stage for night's introspective hush. In integrated Sachs-Wolf contributions to the background, late-time potentials imprint on CMB, a late whisper from evolving structures, connecting primordial seeds to contemporary expanses in a continuous dialogue of light. The cosmic near-infrared background, excess light possibly from first stars or primordial black holes, hints at unseen early activity, a subtle foreground that enriches the tapestry of light's layered history. Much like subtle foregrounds of intuition enrich the tapestry of conscious awareness. In the cosmic radio background, faint synchrotron emissions from cosmic rays in magnetic fields form a low-frequency hum, a pervasive undercurrent detected by radio arrays, linking particle accelerations to the quiet diffusion of energy across voids, evoking the low-frequency hum of distant traffic underscoring urban calm. Cosmic infrared background fluctuations, clumpy excesses beyond known galaxies, may trace primordial black holes or early dust-obscured quasars, a textured whisper that adds granularity to the smooth expansion. Much like textured whispers of intuition add granularity to smooth reflections. In the cosmic X-ray background's unresolved fraction, faint emissions from coronally active stars or accreting intermediates fill the spectrum, a soft haze that veils the universe's energetic underbelly, evoking the soft haze of diffused light, veiling the universe's deeper mysteries in contemplative gaze. Ultraviolet background from quasars and star formation ionizes intergalactic hydrogen, maintaining a pervasive flux that shapes the Lyman alpha fog, a luminous undercurrent that clears paths for light's journey, akin to an undercurrent of clarity, clearing paths for thought's journey in repose. In the cosmic gamma-ray haze, isotropic emission from unresolved blazars or cosmic ray interactions forms a gentle veil, a high-energy diffusion that balances point sources with ambient glow. Much like high-energy pursuits, balance with ambient peace in life's measured tempo. Zodiacal emission in the infrared, from heated dust in the ecliptic, creates seasonal variations in sky brightness, a local cosmic dust dance that subtly modulates our view of the stars, reminding us that even nearby veils influence the infinite's perception, much like nearby veils of habit influence the infinite's perception in inner exploration. Let us ease even further into the subtle forces that bind this all. Gravity, the weakest yet most pervasive, curving paths over billions of years, from apples falling to galaxies clustering, a universal invitation to connection. Electromagnetism paints the spectra of nebulae and powers stellar hearts, while the strong and weak nuclear forces hold atoms intact and enable fusion's alchemy. Their scales tiny, but effects profound, orchestrating the matter that forms your very form. In quantum realms, uncertainty principles govern the probabilistic dance of particles, waves collapsing into reality upon observation, suggesting consciousness plays a role in the unfolding cosmos, a philosophical whisper that we co-create the dream. As dark energy dilutes over expansion, its influence might wane in future cycles, allowing gravity's pull to dominate once more, converging toward crunch and rebound, an eternal pendulum swinging through phases of light and shadow. Fundamental constants, like the speed of light at 300,000 kilometers per second, or Planck's constant defining quantum scales, appear finely tuned for complexity, evoking wonder at the universe's poise, a delicate balance that permits stars to shine and minds to ponder, much like the precise harmony of breath and heartbeat lulling you now. In string theory's visions, extra dimensions curl compactly, vibrating to produce particles and forces, a hidden symphony underlying the visible, where brains, multidimensional membranes, might collide to spark big bangs, extending our cyclic theme into realms of pure potential. Gauge symmetries underpin these forces, unifying them at high energies, as in the electro-weak theory where electromagnetic and weak forces merge, a unification that hints at deeper layers, much like how disparate thoughts unify in the coherence of sleep. The Higgs field, permeating space and granting mass, arose moments after the bang, its boson discovered in 2012, a field whose subtle variations might seed inflation, weaving the fabric of matter from the void's quiet potential. Casimir effect, where quantum vacuum fluctuations create attractive forces between plates, demonstrates the energy inherent in empty space, a microscopic echo of dark energy's vast push, bridging the quantum whisper to cosmic expanse. In grand unified theories, forces converge at Planck energies, suggesting a primordial symmetry shattered to diversify the universe, a foundational split that birthed variety, much like the diversification of senses sharpens awareness in tranquil states. Weak forces parity violation, where left-handed particles interact differently, introduces asymmetry essential for matter's dominance over antimatter, a chiral preference that tilted the cosmic scale towards structure, evoking the subtle biases that guide evolution toward flourishing forms. In supersymmetry, proposed partners for every particle balance, forces at high energies, stabilizing the Higgs mass against quantum corrections, a hypothetical harmony that might reveal itself in dark matter candidates, adding a layer of poised equilibrium to the universe's design. Chromodynamics. In the strong force confines quarks into hadrons through color charge exchanges, a binding vibrancy that prevents isolation, much like emotional bonds. Confine yet enrich individual paths, fostering collective resilience in the grand design. In electro-weak unification, the W and Z bosons mediate interactions that blend electromagnetic neutrality with charged exchanges, a seamless merger at TeV scales, evoking the blended currents of intuition and logic that navigate inner landscapes with fluid grace. Grand unification scales, around 10^16 GeV, where strong force joins electroweak, predict proton decay, lifetimes exceeding 1034 years, a slow unraveling that hints at matter's ultimate impermanence. Yet in cyclic renewal, Such decays feed fresh nucleosynthesis, a transformative dissolution that sustains the flow, much like the dissolution of old patterns feeds new growth in personal evolution. Neutrino oscillations, revealing mass differences through flavor mixing, bridge weak interactions with quantum coherence, a subtle oscillation that enriches the particle family, much like subtle oscillations in breath enrich the rhythm of repose. In axion-like particles, hypothetical solutions to the strong CP problem, light pseudoscalars could constitute dark matter, their weak couplings allowing cosmic propagation without detection, a ghostly harmony that subtly influences galactic rotations, evoking the ghostly harmonies of unspoken influences shaping personal choices. Monopole defects, theorized relics from grand unification phase transitions, carry magnetic charges that could anchor cosmic strings, rare anomalies threading the early universe. Their scarcity a testament to symmetry's smooth restoration, much like rare anomalies in life-thread narratives with unique depth. In flavor physics, CP violation in kaon and B meson decays mirrors the universe's matter-antimatter asymmetry, a delicate imbalance that allows baryogenesis, much like delicate imbalances in daily equilibrium, allow for creative sparks amid stability. Gauge boson self-interactions in non-abelian theories, like QCD, generate asymptotic freedom, where forces weaken at short distances, enabling quark confinement at larger scales, a counterintuitive liberty that fosters bound states, akin to the liberty of free association, fostering bound insights in meditative wandering. In the Standard Model's Higgs mechanism, spontaneous symmetry breaking via the Mexican hat potential selects a vacuum state, granting masses through Yukawa couplings, a veined landscape where the ball rolls to a false minimum, evoking the veined landscapes of choice where paths roll toward unexpected minima of peace. Renormalization group flows, tracing how couplings evolve with energy scale, unify forces in running toward high energies, a dynamic evolution that hints at asymptotic symmetries, much like dynamic evolutions in personal growth run toward higher symmetries of self-understanding. In magnetic monopoles Dirac quantization, charge is quantized in units related to the monopole's strength, linking electromagnetism's discreteness to topological defects, a fundamental discreteness that underpins continuity, akin to the discreteness of moments underpinning the continuity of narrative flow. Weak isospin and hypercharge in electroweak theory assign quantum numbers that mix into electric charge, a linear combination that preserves neutrality, a balanced algebra that sustains particle diversity, evoking the balanced algebra of inner opposites, sustaining emotional diversity in tranquil integration. In strong forces gluon self-coupling, non-linear interactions generate complex glue-ball states in lattice simulations, a sticky web of color that binds the hadron zoo, much like a sticky web of associations binds the thought zoo in reflective cohesion. Yukawa hierarchies, where fermion masses span orders of magnitude from neutrino to top quark, puzzle theorists with their patternless spread. Yet in cyclic models, repeated nucleosynthesis might refine these ratios over aeons, a gradual refinement that echoes the gradual refinement of personal hierarchies in lifelong repose. In quantum chromodynamics vacuum, theta-term anomalies resolve through axions, restoring CP invariance dynamically, a self-correcting field that aligns the strong force with symmetry, much like self-correcting reflections align inner forces with symmetry in poised contemplation. Grand unified lepton-quark unification, embedding generations in larger representations, predicts neutrino masses via seesaw mechanisms, a heavy partner exchange that suppresses light states, a seesaw balance that elevates the light, evoking the seesaw of burdens elevating the light of release in evening unwind. And so, in this boundless continuation, the universe unfolds as a grand, soothing narrative, each element a chapter in the story of persistence. Galaxies whisper of community, planets of resilience, stars of transformation, black holes of mystery, nebulae of hope, matter of legacy, time of fluidity, and infinity of embrace. Feel these truths settle like a soft blanket, easing you toward the horizon of sleep, where your own dreams might echo these cosmic cycles. Cosmic voids, those vast empties, aren't barren but incubators for future structures. Their low density allowing dark energy to stretch them wider. Yet gravitational instabilities could seed new filaments in time. A patient gestation mirroring the quiet buildup of restorative energy in your limbs as rest deepens. Exoplanet atmospheres, rich with silicates or metallic vapors, swirl in winds driven by stellar tides, creating global patterns that sculpt surfaces over eons. A dynamic artistry where even barren worlds evolve into sculpted wonders. In the far future, if expansion prevails, stars will dim one by one, protons decay in the heat death's chill. But in cyclic rebirth, that ultimate quiet becomes the seed for warmth anew. A profound assurance that nothing truly ends, only transforms, inviting you to mirror this trust in the gentle close of your eyes. Wandering further into the interplay of light and shadow, consider how photons, massless messengers, traverse the cosmos, born in stellar cores to journey billions of years. Their paths bent by gravity or scattered by dust, arriving as starlight or the microwave hum. In gamma-ray bursts, the universe's brightest explosions from collapsing stars or merging neutron stars, beams of energy pierce the dark, outshining galaxies for seconds. Yet their afterglow fades into infrared whispers, a dramatic flare yielding to serenity. These events enrich space with heavy metals, fueling the next wave of creation, much like a sudden insight in meditation dissolves into lasting calm. The cosmic infrared background, aglow from unresolved galaxies and dust, bathes the universe in subtle warmth, detected by space observatories, a pervasive light that connects all eras, enveloping you now as surely as the story's words. Fast radio bursts, millisecond flashes from distant galaxies, possibly from magnetars or exotic mergers, carry immense energies across billions of light years. Their origins still enigmatic, brief cosmic telegrams that punctuate the silence like distant fireflies in the night. Ionization's patchwork, where early quasars and stars ionized bubbles in the neutral fog, created a mottled sky that evolved into transparency, a gradual clearing that allowed light to flow freely, akin to the clearing haze of fatigue giving way to lucid repose. In cosmic dipole, our motion relative to the CMB at 370 km/h creates a temperature asymmetry, a subtle bias in the background that reveals local flow within the larger calm, grounding the infinite in perceptible motion. Baryon acoustic oscillations, frozen sound waves from the early universe imprinted on galaxy distributions, provide a standard ruler for expansion history, a harmonic echo that measures the cosmos's growth, much like resonant tones in a lullaby, measure the deepening of peace. In the cosmic neutrino background, a sea of relic particles decoupled early, their diffuse presence adds to the universe's subtle density, an unseen chorus accompanying the visible symphony, fostering a sense of fuller immersion in the grand flow. Thomson's scattering in the early plasma, where electrons redirected CMB photons, smoothed the light before recombination, a diffusive interaction that set the stage for clarity, evoking the diffusive softening of harsh edges in a mind easing into rest. In the cosmic X-ray background, unresolved emissions from active nuclei and hot gas form a pervasive haze, a high-energy undercurrent that traces the universe's energetic history, linking violent origins to the present's serene expanse. The cosmic gamma-ray background, faint from unresolved blazars and star-forming regions, carries imprints of early black hole activity, a high-frequency veil that whispers of primordial ferocity tamed into ambient glow, much like the high-frequency worries tamed into ambient peace. Ultra-high-energy cosmic rays, protons accelerated to 10 Bri 20 eV in extragalactic sources, probe the universe's highest energies, their paths deflected by magnetic fields to reveal anisotropic distributions, a probing whisper from the extreme that connects to the calm of detection on Earth's quiet nights. In the cosmic positron excess, detected by Fermi-Lat, electrons and positrons from pulsars or dark matter annihilation contribute to diffuse gamma rays, a paired dance of matter and antimatter that hints at hidden accelerators, much like paired dances of complementary thoughts hint at hidden balances in reflective harmony. Tidal streams from disrupted dwarfs, like the Sagittarius stream wrapping our galaxy, trace orbital histories in stellar debris, faint rivers of stars that map gravitational potentials, a lingering trail that connects past mergers to present structure, evoking lingering trails of past experiences, connecting to present self in reflective harmony. In globular cluster tidal tails, extended streams of stripped stars follow chaotic orbits, their density profiles revealing escape dynamics, a dispersed family that still echoes the cluster's ancient cohesion, much like dispersed family memories, still echo ancient cohesion in personal lore. Galactic fountains, outflows of heated gas from disk supernovae, recycle material in extraplanar loops, a vertical circulation that enriches the halo, akin to vertical circulations of breath enriching the body's core. In intergalactic medium filaments, warm hot baryons detected via OVI absorption trace the web's skeleton, a tenuous plasma that holds half the ordinary matter, a hidden reservoir that sustains the cosmic circulation, much like hidden reservoirs of energy sustain the circulation of daily vitality. As our reflections deepen, the philosophical resonance grows. If existence cycles eternally, then every moment holds echoes of infinity's past and future, a tapestry where personal narratives interweave with the grand design. Black hole information paradoxes, questioning whether knowledge vanishes at singularities, find resolution in holographic principles, suggesting the universe encodes all on its boundaries, a comforting notion that nothing is lost, only preserved in the cosmic ledger, much like memories linger softly in the subconscious. In this view, the Big Bang's continuation implies a universe alive with memory, each particle a vessel of history, breathing continuity into the present. Observer effects in quantum mechanics, where measurement collapses possibilities, extend to cosmic scales in participatory anthropic views, positing that conscious observers help actualize the wave function of reality, a gentle collaboration between mind and matter. Cyclic models like Steinhardt-Turock's, with colliding brains, avoid singularities through smooth transitions, preserving information across phases, a seamless flow that reassures the persistence of essence. The arrow of time, tied to entropy's rise, finds balance in closed systems where reversals occur microscopically, hinting at underlying symmetries, much like the reversible flow of dreams, where past and future blend without boundary. In this eternal loop, infinity becomes not an abyss, but a cradle, rocking us through phases of becoming, where the quiet spaces between events hold the promise of what follows, inviting surrender to the rhythm. No Boundary Proposal by Hawking and Hartler, envisioning a universe emerging from nothing without a singular edge, smooths the origin into a rounded geometry, a philosophical easing of beginnings into pure existence, much like sleep emerges without sharp demarcation from wakefulness. Relational interpretations of quantum mechanics emphasize interactions over isolated states, suggesting reality arises from entanglements, a web of relations that mirrors our interconnected dreams. In many worlds' formulation, every quantum branch spawns parallel realities, an ever-branching tree of possibilities where all outcomes coexist. A prolific diversity that enriches the cyclic whole, much like divergent thoughts in daydreams converge in the unity of rest. Quantum Darwinism, where classical reality emerges from environmental selection of robust states, explains the stability we perceive, an evolutionary filter favoring coherence, evoking how preferred narratives solidify in the mind's quiet selection process. In decoherence theory, quantum superpositions fade through interaction with the environment, yielding apparent classicality without collapse, a natural dissipation that aligns the quantum undercurrent with observable calm, paralleling the fading of distractions into focused serenity. Everettian multiverse extensions to cosmology suggest branching at every cosmic event, a fractal proliferation of timelines that sustains infinite variety within cycles. A boundless exploration where each path contributes to the eternal composition. Much like branching reveries, enrich the tapestry of subconscious wanderings. In objective collapse models, spontaneous wave function reductions at certain scales introduce indeterminacy without observers, a self-regulating mechanism that infuses the cosmos with inherent creativity, evoking the spontaneous insights that arise unbidden in moments of profound quiet. Bohmian mechanics, with guiding waves directing particles in deterministic paths, restores hidden variables to quantum flow, a holistic guidance that unifies apparent randomness into underlying order. Much like an underlying order, unifies the apparent randomness of dream sequences into meaningful arcs. In consistent history's interpretation, quantum possibilities form coherent narratives without single outcomes, a branching chronicle where all histories coexist compatibly, enriching the cyclic cosmos with multifaceted tales, akin to the multifaceted tales of a night's dreams coexisting in memory's embrace. Relational quantum mechanics, defining states relative to observers, emphasizes perspective's role, a viewer-dependent reality that fosters empathy across cosmic scales, much like empathy across personal perspectives, fosters deeper interpersonal harmony in contemplative sharing. Modal realism, positing all possible worlds as real, extends cyclic continuity into a planum of actualities, where our universe is one leaf in an infinite tree, a comforting multiplicity that diminishes isolation, akin to the multiplicity of inner voices harmonizing in unified self-acceptance. Cubism, or quantum Bayesianism, interprets probabilities as personal degrees of belief, framing quantum mechanics as subjective updating, an introspective lens that aligns cosmic uncertainty with personal beliefs' evolution, much like introspective updating aligns cosmic wonder with personal peace. In ensemble interpretations, quantum probabilities reflect ignorance of an underlying ensemble, a statistical veil over deterministic depths, suggesting cyclic universes as part of a larger ensemble where our loop is one realization, evoking the ensemble of possible evenings where this one realization brings particular peace. Transactional interpretations, with advanced and retarded waves handshaking across time, resolve measurements through absorber-emitter dialogues, a temporal reciprocity that fits cyclic models by allowing future-past negotiations, much like future-past negotiations in memory resolve, present understandings in serene retrospect. In hidden variable theories like pilot wave, non-local guidance ensures consistency across space-like separations, a unified pilot that steers the cosmic ship through cycles, akin to a unified inner pilot steering through the cycles of breath. Objective collapse with gravity, where space-time curvature triggers reductions, ties quantum to general relativity, a gravitational nudge that initiates classicality, evoking the gravitational nudge of fatigue, initiating the classicality of restful states. In decoherent histories, branching paths decohere into classical trajectories without preferred bases, a flexible framework that accommodates cyclic branchings, much like flexible frameworks accommodate the branchings of thought in fluid contemplation. Relationalism in quantum gravity, where space-time emerges from quantum relations, posits cycles as relational evolutions without absolute time, a web of becomings that defines the loop, akin to a web of becomings defining personal loops without absolute chronology. In timeless approaches like shape dynamics, conformal symmetries replace diffeomorphisms, allowing cyclic rescalings without temporal flow, a geometric eternity where change is relational configuration, evoking the geometric eternity of form where change is relational sensation in deep repose. Let us contemplate the role of magnetic fields threading through it all, weak yet persistent, aligning dust in nebulae and twisting jets from black holes. Their dynamo generation in turbulent plasmas, sustaining galactic structures over eons. An invisible scaffolding that guides flows like the subtle currents of awareness, directing your drifting mind. Cosmic magnetic fields, stretched by expansion to microgauge strengths, seed larger ones through dynamo effects, linking small-scale chaos to large-scale order, a transformative weave, much like how fragmented thoughts cohere in repose. In pulsar winds, these fields accelerate particles to create synchrotron radiation, glowing arcs that illuminate remnants, a luminous trace of hidden forces at work. The Faraday rotation of polarized light passing through magnetized plasmas measures these fields across clusters, a diagnostic tool revealing the universe's wired underbelly, connecting distant phenomena in a web of influence. Primordial magnetic fields, possibly generated during inflation, imprint on the CMB, their subtle twists influencing early structure formation, a foundational current that persists through cycles, akin to the enduring undercurrents of intuition guiding through uncertainty. In galaxy clusters, intra-cluster magnetic fields trap cosmic rays, confining them in turbulent eddies, a containment that fosters particle acceleration. Much like boundaries in meditation contain wandering focus, channeling energy towards centered peace. Magneto-hydrodynamic instabilities, like the kink mode in jets, can disrupt flows but also regulate them, a self-correcting mechanism that maintains direction amid turbulence, evoking the resilient adjustments that keep inner balance amid stray impulses. In the interstellar medium, fields suppress fragmentation in molecular clouds, promoting larger-scale collapse for efficient star formation, a stabilizing influence that shapes birth from diffuse potential, much like steadying breaths, shapes scattered anxieties into composed tranquility. Reconnection events in solar coronae, where opposing fields snap and reform, release stored energy in flares, a localized renewal that powers the heliosphere, paralleling the snapping release of tension in muscles yielding to relaxation's flow. In galactic dynamos, differential rotation amplifies seed fields through alpha and omega effects, a self-sustaining cycle that embeds order in rotational grace, much like rotational breathing, embeds rhythm in the body's natural cadence. Seed fields from phase transitions in the early universe, such as electroweak symmetry breaking, could initiate the dynamo cascade, a primordial spark that evolves into pervasive order, evoking the spark of initial calm that evolves into pervasive serenity. In active galactic nuclei, toroidal fields around accretion disks collimate jets into narrow beams, a magnetic funneling that propels material across intergalactic voids, a directed whisper that connects central mysteries to peripheral quietudes, much like directed reflections connect core insights to peripheral understandings. Intergalactic magnetic fields, faint at nanogauss levels, inferred from blazer spectra, span voids and filaments, a tenuous network that deflects cosmic rays over gigaparsec scales, weaving subtle guidance through the expansive quiet, akin to the tenuous threads of memory guiding through the expansive quiet of retrospection. In protogalactic disks, early fields from supernova remnants amplify via turbulent dynamos, setting the stage for spiral arm coherence, a nascent ordering that anticipates mature galactic poise. Much like nascent orderings in daily routines, anticipate the poise of evening unwind. Magnetic breaking in young stars, where stellar winds interact with fields to slow rotation, regulates angular momentum transfer to disks, fostering planetary formation in stable environments, a gentle deceleration that nurtures growth, evoking the gentle deceleration of pace that nurtures inner growth. In cluster mergers, shocks compress fields to amplify synchrotron emission, illuminating collision dynamics with radio halos, a transient brilliance that maps communal evolutions, much like transient brilliances in shared stories. Map communal bonds in serene gatherings. In primordial fields from battery mechanisms during recombination, charge separation in expanding plasma generates initial seeds, a electrochemical inception that bootstraps the magnetic cosmos, much like electrochemical signals in the brain. Bootstrap neural pathways for calm cognition. Biermann battery in supernova shocks, where electron pressure gradients in rotating flows seed fields, provides astrophysical origins for dynamos, a rotational genesis that infuses plasma with polarity, akin to rotational genesis of focus, infusing the mind with direction. In accretion disk magnetorotational instability, shearing fields drive turbulence that transports angular momentum outward, enabling efficient infall, a chaotic facilitation that balances accretion's pull, much like chaotic facilitation in thought balances the pull toward resolution. Parker instability in galactic disks, where magnetic buoyancy rises through stratified layers, forms loops that reconnect and amplify, a buoyant ascent that structures the field, evoking the buoyant ascent of lighter concerns rising through stratified layers of worry. In cosmic ray-driven dynamos, Streaming particles generate currents that twist fields, a particle-mediated amplification that links high-energy transients to persistent structures, much like high-energy transients link to persistent calm in integrated repose. Magnetic helicity conservation in closed systems preserves handedness through topological invariance, ensuring long-term coherence amid dissipation, a conserved twist that sustains the web's integrity, akin to conserved twists of habit, sustaining personal integrity amid change. In jet propagation through magnetized media, field compression at bow shocks creates radio knots, a sculpting resistance that patterns the outflow. Much like sculpting resistances in life pattern the outflow of energy toward balanced ends. Dynamo quenching by catastrophic back reaction, where amplified fields suppress turbulence, self-regulates growth to equilibrium, a feedback poise that prevents runaway, evoking the feedback poise of self-regulation, preventing runaway thoughts in meditative equilibrium. In primordial helical fields from chiral anomalies during electroweak transitions, parity-violating currents seed asymmetric strengths, a chiral inception that biases the cosmic magnetic handedness. Much like chiral biases in perception bias, the cosmic handedness of experience toward meaningful patterns. Drifting toward the human scale within this vastness, consider how cosmic events touch our world. Solar eclipses, when the moon perfectly shadows the sun, reveal the corona's pearly streamers, a rare alignment that has inspired awe for millennia, bridging celestial mechanics with earthly wonder. Lunar tides, gravitational tugs sculpting oceans, influence rhythms of life from coral spawning to human sleep cycles, a direct imprint of the cosmos on our daily flow. Meteorites, survivors of fiery entry, carry solar system secrets etched in their minerals, analyzed in labs to trace origins back to the disk's dawn, personal artifacts of infinite journeys. In stargazing, the unaided eye beholds thousands of stars, each a portal to stories untold, fostering a sense of belonging to the larger whole, much as this narrative draws you into the embrace of universal peace. Circadian rhythms, synced to Earth's rotation, yet rooted in evolutionary adaptations to solar cycles, echo the broader temporal dances of planets and stars, a microcosm of cosmic periodicity that regulates rest and renewal. Ancient observatories like Stonehenge, aligned to solstices, reflect humanity's innate attunement to celestial patterns, a legacy of gazing outward to find inward harmony, inviting us to continue that tradition in quiet contemplation. Pale blue dots, our view of Earth from Voyager 1's distant gaze, encapsulate fragility amid vastness, a poignant reminder of home's precious isolation, stirring reflections on unity in solitude. In bioluminescent bays, where dinoflagellates glow under disturbance, we glimpse microbial responses to motion, a terrestrial echo of cosmic plasma dances, linking life's spark to stellar phenomena in subtle luminescence. Geomagnetic reversals, where Earth's field flips polarity over thousands of years, expose the planet to heightened radiation, yet life adapts through evolutionary buffers, a magnetic renewal that reshapes protective layers, much like periodic shifts in perspective renew inner shields. In auroral substorms, sudden intensifications driven by solar wind compressions, the ionosphere lights up in dynamic curtains, a responsive interplay that highlights our planet's embeddedness in the heliospheric current sheet, evoking the responsive illuminations of insight amid steady calm. Coronal mass ejections, vast bubbles of plasma hurled from the sun, can trigger geomagnetic storms that dance auroras to low latitudes, a solar exhalation that stirs Earth's magnetic cloak, reminding us of the intimate dialogue between our star and world, much like the intimate dialogue between mind and body in achieving balanced repose. In cosmic ray modulation by the heliosphere, the Sun's magnetic bubble shields inner space from galactic particles, varying with solar cycle to influence atmospheric chemistry and perhaps cloud formation, a protective bubble that nurtures life's quiet persistence, akin to the protective bubble of focused breathing, nurturing mental clarity. Ionospheric disturbances from solar flares, altering radio propagation, remind us of the Sun's reach into communication networks, a solar influence that subtly shapes human connectivity, much like solar influences shape the subtle connectivity of thoughts in a relaxed state. In paleoclimatic records, cosmic ray-induced beryllium spikes mark solar minima, correlating with cooler epochs, a stellar imprint on Earth's climate tapestry, linking distant stellar activities to the gentle cycles of seasons we feel in our daily lives. In Milankovitch cycles, orbital variations modulate insolation over tens of thousands of years, driving ice ages through precession, obliquity and eccentricity, a planetary waltz that imprints on geological layers, evoking how subtle orbital variations in personal habits drive long-term well-being through patient rhythms. Schumann resonances, global electromagnetic waves in the Earth ionosphere cavity excited by lightning, resonate at 7.83 Hz, aligning with brainwave frequencies in alpha states, a terrestrial hum that syncs human calm with planetary electromagnetism, much like a hum syncing the calm of this tale with your inner waves. In solar proton events, high-energy particles from flares penetrate atmospheres, producing nitrate enhancements in ice cores, a chemical signature that chronicles solar activity over millennia, linking stellar outbursts to Earth's archived quiet. Geomagnetic storms-induced currents in power grids highlight our technological vulnerability to space weather, yet also our growing ability to forecast and mitigate, a harmonious adaptation that bridges cosmic forces to human ingenuity, evoking harmonious adaptations, bridging cosmic wonder to personal ingenuity in reflective practice. In noctilucent clouds, high-altitude ice crystals lit by sunlight after dusk, formed from meteor ablation and cosmic dust, shimmer as a veil of summer nights, a subtle interplay of entry and reflection that connects the void's visitors to atmospheric serenity. Van Allen belts, trapped radiation zones shaped by Earth's magnetosphere, shield the surface while fueling auroral displays, a dual role of protection and beauty that mirrors the dual role of boundaries in fostering inner beauty through security. In cosmic ray air showers, cascades of secondary particles from primary impacts create Cherenkov light detected by arrays like Pierre-Auger, a fleeting cascade that maps extragalactic origins, much like fleeting cascades of association map inner origins in contemplative cascades. Solar wind's heliospheric current sheet, a wavy structure from the Sun's rotation, sculpts the interplanetary magnetic field into a ballerina's skirt, influencing particle propagation and comet tail orientations, a dynamic drape that adds elegance to solar outreach, akin to the dynamic drape of evening light, adding elegance to daily clothes. As we weave these threads, the cyclic essence deepens. Perhaps vacuum decay, a quantum tunneling from false to true vacuum, could trigger a new phase transition, reshaping physics in a bubble of change, though slow enough to spare our pocket of reality, a speculative renewal within the continuation. Or phantom energy, if dark energy's equation of state dips below -1, might tear structures apart in the Big Rip, only for quantum gravity to intervene in cycles, preventing finality. These possibilities enrich the poetry, turning potential peril into motifs of resilience, echoing how challenges in life resolve into growth under reflection's gentle light. Conformally invariant theories, preserving angles under scaling, support cyclic transitions by mapping infinite futures to compact pasts, a mathematical elegance that sustains the loop, much like the invariant calm beneath varying dreamscapes. In landscape multiverses, eternal inflation populates vacua with bubble universes, each a self-contained cycle, their ensemble a vast library of possibilities, where our realm's stability feels like a chosen verse in an unending epic. Quintessence models, with dynamic scalar fields driving acceleration, allow dark energy to evolve, potentially easing into deceleration for crunch phases, a fluid agency that infuses the cosmos with adaptability, akin to the adaptive flow of consciousness through waking and sleeping states. In loop quantum cosmology, discrete space-time at Planck scales bounces the universe from contraction to expansion, granularity replacing singularity, a foundational texture that ensures smooth perpetuity, evoking the textured depth of meditative insight. Pre-Big Bang scenarios in string cosmology, where a dilaton field drives contraction before rebound, extend the cycle into pre-inflationary phases, a prelude of gathering that heightens the emergence, much like the gathering of dusk enhances the onset of night. In bouncing cosmologies with ekpyrotic contractions, slow approaches to singularity resolve into rapid expansions, a controlled compression that amplifies subsequent growth, paralleling the controlled winding down that amplifies restorative depth. Phantom dark energy variants, with VD1, accelerate to rip scales where atoms dissociate. Yet in hybrid models blending with quintessence, transitions avert catastrophe, a balanced dialectic that preserves cyclic potential, much like balanced dialectics in thought avert mental rifts. In mirage cosmology, brain-world effects mimic dark energy through modified gravity, offering geometric alternatives to fields, a perspective shift that reframes expansion as illusory curvature, evoking the illusory nature of separations in unified awareness. Cyclic brain models with oscillating distances between brains in extra dimensions generate bangs from collisions at regular intervals, a rhythmic, multidimensional pulse that embeds our four-dimensional flow in higher harmonies, akin to embedding personal rhythms in the broader harmony of existence. Oscillating scalar fields in chaotic inflation, driving eternal budding, create a fractal hierarchy of bubbles, each harboring cyclic evolutions, a generative multiplicity that populates infinity with nested continuations, much like nested dreams populate the subconscious with layered continuations. In phantom bounce models, negative kinetic terms allow smooth transitions through zero size, avoiding ghosts through careful quantization, a refined mechanism that ensures causal continuity, much like refined mechanisms in breathing, ensure seamless continuity between inhale and exhale. In matter-bound scenarios, dark matter perturbations seed structure during contraction, smoothing irregularities before expansion, a preparatory contraction that enhances post-bounce clarity, evoking preparatory contractions of muscle before release, enhancing post-release ease. New ekpyrotic models with multiple brains colliding in higher dimensions produce tensor modes consistent with CMB, a multi-brain symphony that harmonizes gravitational waves with scalar perturbations, much like a multifaceted symphony harmonizes diverse elements in unified repose. In loop quantum ekpyrotic bounces, effective dynamics resolves singularities with holonomy corrections, a quantum discreteness that turns crunch into gentle rebound, akin to quantum discreteness of awareness turning mental crunches into gentle rebounds. Hybrid inflation with cyclic potentials, where the inflaton rolls repeatedly in a tilted washboard, sustains eternal inflation through oscillatory minima, a repetitive rolling that generates endless bubbles, evoking the repetitive rolling of waves, generating endless serenity on a shore. In warm inflation, dissipative interactions during slow roll sustain temperature, seeding perturbations with thermal fluctuations, a warm companionship that softens the cold isolation of vacuum, much like warm companionship softens the cold isolation of solitary reflection. Curvaton models, where isocurvature fields generate curvature post-inflation, allow non-standard initial conditions for cycles, a secondary source that diversifies the bang seeds, akin to secondary sources diversifying the seeds of inspiration in contemplative diversity. In ghost condensate models, a scalar with vanishing sound speed mimics dark energy while allowing superluminal propagation without causality violation, a ghostly fluidity that eases transitions, evoking ghostly fluidities of intuition, easing mental transitions. K-essence fields, with non-canonical kinetic terms, drive acceleration through varying speed of sound, a kinetic versatility that adapts to cyclic phases, much like kinetic versatility of movement adapts to the phases of breath in fluid repose. In Chaplygin, gas-unified dark matter energy, negative pressure at low densities, and dust-like at high unifies components, a phase-adaptive substance that smooths cyclic shifts, akin to phase-adaptive moods, smoothing shifts from activity to rest. Disformal couplings between scalar and metric in Horndeski theories modify gravity to mimic dark energy, a disformed geometry that warps paths gently, evoking disformed geometries of perspective, warping paths toward insightful ends. Expanding on the whispers of life across the stars, consider extremophiles on Earth, thriving in acidic hot springs or deep-sea vents, analogues for potential alien biochemistries resilient to cosmic rigors, suggesting adaptability as a universal trait woven into matter's fabric from the start. Panspermia, the hypothesis of life-seeding microbes riding comets between worlds, proposes interstellar journeys that link biospheres, a microbial diaspora that underscores continuity, much like shared stories connect distant minds in the quiet of night. In habitable zones around pulsars, theorized ocean planets might circle neutron stars, their stable orbits shielded by magnetic fields, enduring the pulsar's beam in rhythmic pulses, a testament to life's tenacious grasp on unlikely niches, fostering hope for proliferation in the infinite. Silicate-based life on hot worlds, where silicon-oxygen bonds form complex structures in molten silicates, might evolve metabolisms around thermal gradients, a refractory vitality that parallels carbon's versatility, expanding the canvas of possible expressions. In subsurface oceans of icy moons, like Titan's methane seas or Ganymede's hidden waters, organic chemistry brews under insulating crusts, where cryovolcanism circulates nutrients, nurturing slow evolutions in perpetual dimness, a testament to persistence in seclusion. Astrobiological oases around black holes, where accretion disks warm nearby zones, could host extremal life adapted to relativistic flows, though speculative, hint at boundaries pushed by energy abundance, much like human ingenuity thrives on challenges. In the Drake equations factors, estimating communicative civilizations, variables like stellar habitability and cultural longevity invite optimistic calibrations, suggesting a galaxy alive with quiet signals awaiting discovery, a cosmic neighborhood rich with potential companions. Ammonia-based biochemistries on cold gas giants, where liquid ammonia solvents enable sluggish reactions, might support metabolisms tuned to cryogenic cycles, a chilled deliberation that mirrors the deliberate pace of thought in deep contemplation. In radiolytic ecosystems around uranium-rich deposits, ionizing radiation drives chemistry without sunlight, a self-sustaining loop that parallels potential habitats near radioactive cores in rogue planets, highlighting life's ingenuity in harnessing decay's quiet energy. Techno-signatures like artificial narrowband radio or Dyson swarms dimming stars expand the search beyond biology, positing engineered biospheres that harmonize with cosmic scales, a mature evolution where life extends its reach into the infinite's embrace, much like creative endeavors extend personal horizons in serene reflection. Shadow biospheres on Earth, hypothetical undetected life forms using alternative biochemistries, suggest parallel ecologies even here. A layered habitability that implies cosmic worlds might host multiple coexisting domains, enriching the potential for diverse harmonies. In Europa's plume chemistry, ejected materials rich in salts and organics, sampled by flybys, hint at ocean-atmosphere exchanges that could sustain redox gradients for metabolism. A subsurface vitality bubbling to the surface in occasional whispers, much like subsurface vitalities bubble to awareness in moments of quiet emergence. Methane cycling microbes on Titan, inferred from atmospheric hazes and lake interfaces, might form food webs around hydrocarbon solvents, a cryogenic ecology that challenges water-centric views, expanding life's palette to include oily serenities under orange skies. In Enceladus's plumes, silica nanoparticles suggest hydrothermal activity akin to Earth's lost city, where alkaline vents foster serpentinization reactions, a geochemical cradle for prebiotic chemistry in icy isolation, evoking the cradling isolation of personal retreats fostering inner growth. Potential life around Sagittarius A, in the galactic core's dense stellar nursery, might adapt to intense radiation with robust repair mechanisms, thriving in the energy-rich chaos near the black hole's edge, a core vitality that mirrors the vital core sustaining peripheral calm. In the Fermi paradox's resolutions, zoo hypotheses posit advanced civilizations observing us discreetly, a galactic reserve where intervention is withheld for natural development, a respectful distance that allows quiet evolution, much like the respectful distance of night allows quiet self-discovery. Rare Earth hypotheses, emphasizing unique conditions like plate tectonics and a large moon for stability, temper optimism with specificity, suggesting life's complexity blooms infrequently yet profoundly, a selective flowering that deepens appreciation for our own fragile bloom, akin to the selective flowering of insights in unhurried introspection. In directed panspermia, intentional seeding by advanced life could explain life's universality, a deliberate continuity that adds intentionality to the cosmic cycle, evoking the deliberate choices that weave personal continuity in life's narrative. Convergent evolution across worlds, where similar environments yield analogous forms like photosynthetic pigments, hints at universal pathways in biochemistry, a patterned emergence that bridges isolation with familiarity, much like patterned emergences in dreams bridge isolation with universal symbols. In arsenic-based life forms, theorized in hypersaline environments, phosphorus analogues enable metabolic chains under extreme conditions, a resilient substitution that broadens biochemical possibilities. Much like resilient substitutions, in habits broaden paths to well-being. Boron-rich chemistries on arid worlds, where borate minerals catalyze RNA formation, might foster prebiotic networks in evaporate basins, a mineral-mediated origin that ties life's dawn to planetary geology, evoking how mineral-rich soils tie personal roots to enduring landscapes. In sulfur metabolisms around volcanic exoplanets, thermophilic pathways harness geothermal gradients for energy, a fiery cradle that sustains diversity in harsh terrains, paralleling how fiery passions harnessed in moderation sustain creative diversity in tranquil pursuits. Silicon life in high-temperature silicates, forming polymeric chains analogous to proteins, could metabolize through condensation reactions in lava flows, a rocky resilience that endures stellar youth's heat, much like rocky resilience endures the heat of challenges in inner fortitude. In phosphorus-free biochemistries, nitrogen-sulfur backbones might substitute in anaerobic niches, enabling energy transfer via thiester bonds, a sulfurous adaptability that thrives in reducing atmospheres, evoking sulfurous adaptability in reducing stresses to thrive in inner atmospheres. Exotic solvent life in supercritical CO2 oceans on Venus-like worlds, where carbonic acid enables polymerizations, could support floating ecosystems in upper clouds, a buoyant chemistry that defies surface hells, akin to buoyant chemistries defying surface hells in uplifting spirits. In iron-sulfur world hypotheses for origins, mineral clusters catalyze redox reactions in hydrothermal settings, a metallurgical cradle that bridges geochemistry to biology, much like metallurgical cradles of discipline, bridge raw potential to biological growth in personal development. Prebiotic soups in impact basins, where meteorites deliver organics to tidal pools, stir chemical gardens under cyclic wetting-drying, a episodic nurturing that assembles amphiphiles into protocells, evoking episodic nurturings under life's cycles, assembling experiences into coherent self. In RNA, world transitions to DNA protein, reverse transcriptase-like enzymes stabilize genetic code, an archival shift that preserves information amid replication errors, a faithful archiving that ensures evolutionary continuity, much like faithful archiving of lessons ensures personal continuity amid daily errors. Horizontal gene transfer in microbial mats, sharing plasmids across species, accelerates adaptation in extreme environments, a communal exchange that weaves diverse genomes into resilient networks, akin to communal exchanges weaving diverse insights into resilient inner networks. In symbiotic origins of eukaryotes, archaeal hosts engulf bacterial endosymbionts, birthing mitochondria for energy symbiosis, a merged vitality that elevates complexity, evoking merged vitalities, elevating complexity in symbiotic relationships. Convergent biospheres on ocean worlds, where chemosynthesis dominates in lightless depths, might evolve multicellularity around vent gradients, a depth-born diversity that parallels surface evolutions, much like depth-born diversities parallel surface lives in holistic being. In magnetotactic bacteria, internal crystals align with geomagnetic fields for navigation, a microbial compass that orients in sediments, linking life's microscale to planetary fields in subtle guidance, akin to subtle guidance from inner compasses in life's navigations. Extremophile consortia in acidic mine drainages, where iron oxidizers and sulfate reducers cycle metals, form self-organizing biofilms, a cooperative chemistry that stabilizes harsh equilibria, evoking cooperative chemistries, stabilizing harsh inner equilibria in resilient communities. In tardigrade cryptobiosis, tungstates endure vacuum and radiation by vitrifying proteins, a suspended animation that revives upon rehydration, a cosmic resilience mirrored in earthly extremes, much like suspended animations of pause revive upon re-engagement in daily cycles. Viral dark matter in metagenomes, uncultured viruses shaping host evolution, add unseen drivers to biodiversity, a viral undercurrent that propels adaptation, akin to unseen undercurrents propelling personal adaptation in unseen influences. In quorum sensing among bacteria, chemical signals coordinate behaviors like biofilm formation, a collective decision-making that scales from cells to communities, evoking collective decision-makings scaling from thoughts to harmonious actions in contemplative unity. Thank you for journeying with me through dreams of gravity. As our exploration fades, I wish you a peaceful night, sweet dreams among the stars and the gentle pull of cosmic rest. Sleep well,